Okay, I think we are live. Is that what it says on yours?
Yep, I got it.
All right, cool. Well, I'm trying to see if there's, I don't know how to do all this stuff. This is my first Google Hangout, so, and Sam's too, so bear with us. We're just trying to just have a conversation with people, like-minded people, so if other people want to join, I got to find the chat so I can find your email and all that, and whatever else. So if anybody is watching, bear with me and we'll figure this out. One second. What? Oh, well. And then we'll figure it out here. So hold on. Yeah. Sorry, my girlfriend's starting me. Oh. Yeah, how does it pull up, dude? Do you have any ideas?
What's that?
I don't know how to, like, I don't see like a chat where other people can.
I got the group chat on the side, but I don't.
Yeah, that's just me and you, I think.
I wonder what that Q&A is, because I touch it and it won't load for me.
Where's that?
It's on the left.
Q&A?
Yeah, that little sidebar that pops out from the left. There's a Q&A.
Yeah. I don't see that.
You have the showcase. It's right underneath that. Here, I'll try the screen share. Do that. Okay, it works the same as it did before, but
yeah. Hey,
right.
reshare that. What all do you have there?
See if I can get it to come back up. Can't get it to come back.
Right, that's crazy. Wonder if I go to.
Can't get it to come back.
I got it. Hey, you got to go to like the actual YouTube video, maybe. Like if you go to YouTube, like in a browser, it'll show up there.
I got it back again now.
All right, I actually see it now. So.
Okay.
Cool. What's up, Ron?
Ron?
Yeah, Ron Walker. He's like one of my first people I've really talked to on YouTube. One of the first. He's always leaves like, it's complex, but it's usually awesome stuff. Ron, you want to come on and talk? We're just literally, I'm just just trying this out, trying to live stream. I mean, there's a bunch of different topics I could talk about. I haven't made videos, a ton of blog posts, whatever else, but there's so much synchronicity things going on that, you know, that's a big piece that I like to talk about, because the synchronicity things are so much bigger and badder than just decoding the news to me. It's like, I feel like my life is somehow connected to all of these stories. It's so odd, you know? And so I always have to make like hour-long videos and whatnot, so.
Yeah, you're getting, they're really getting longer, actually. Some of your blog posts are too. And then I always see how they kind of go back to even older posts too.
Yeah. Dude, every time I read up a blog post, something weird happens. Like there's synchronicity with the TV, or, you know, I'll be like, oh, something happened today, and it reminds me of that. Like I was reading through Zach's blog the other day, and he was talking about the car fires, right? The car fire, and then it supposedly got started by a flat tire. But just the other day on my blog, I talked about how I had a flat tire on my car, and my dad was helping me fix it. And I looked down at his license plate, and it had that number 624 on it. This big number that I've been talking about like crazy, with how it's related to the death of my grandma, the death of my uncle Clancy, the birth of my son, and my dad is interrelated to my son, and then now his license plate's 624. And it, for whatever the reason, it's connected to the World Series, the 114th World Series, and my dad's birthday is April 11th, 11/4. And if you go to November 4th, which can also be 11/4, it's 6 months and 24 days. Like, and then I get a flat tire and I see my dad's license plate is 624 on it. It's craziness. So, I mean, I'm just writing up a random blog post, and that's happened. So.
Yeah, you mentioned the car fire. I actually did just do a blog about that.
Yeah.
Like literally 5 minutes ago.
Oh, did I? Or you did?
I did, yeah.
Oh, really? Dude, you know what's funny is that we randomly decided to do this live stream, and I was looking at a story just before we got on here about the plane crash in Florida or California, Southern California, and it happened right next to John Wayne Airport. And it wasn't that long ago that you were texting me about John Wayne Gacy, So I was like, that's pretty strange, but I don't know if it's really necessarily related, but I was like, that's just strange that we randomly decide this, and then it's like that's the last article I looked at. I just clicked on it and said John Wayne Airport, and I thought, and John Wayne Airport equals 217, and today's the 217th day, and whatever else, or what, I can't remember what it was. I didn't even write it down yet, but something equal 217, and today's the 217th day. John Wayne Airport equals 85, I think. Today's 85, but.
See, I got a calculator up. What'd you say? 85?
Yeah, today's 8. Yeah, John Wayne Airport. Does that equal 85? Guess I could pull it up. Pretty sure John Wayne Airport.
85.
85. It happens on 8/5. And then, it was a mall parking lot. That equals 217. Right? And today's the 217th day. This parking lot equals 57. Small plane, what they're calling it, equals 57, So. I don't know.
Wildfires also equals 57.
What does? Wildfire?
Wildfires.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I guess I can just start talking about some of these old posts here, if you want. I mean, unless you got some posts that you want to talk about.
Sure. I'll do a little bit about the California fires one. There's not much here, but it was kind of interesting. One thing I wanted to ask you about, but car fire is 51 and 57. Wildfires is 51 and 57. And this other big story we had today was about Hope Hicks. She was on Air Force One or something, but it's another HH, which is like the 88. And of course, the story is out of California, the plane crash and the wildfires. California also equals 88. So I wondered maybe that was the reason we got that story the same day.
Oh man, I didn't blog about it, but Hope Hicks one too it's funny because she resigned officially on like 3/29, the day that the baseball season began and whatnot. HH. And her middle name was Charlotte, and I literally just earlier I documented about Michael Jordan, or it was last night, Michael Jordan and the connections to Princess Charlotte again, because in 2015 he was 52 years old, and he owned the Charlotte basketball team, and then Princess Charlotte was born on 5/2. and Queen Elizabeth became the queen in the year 52. And the Don Lemon stuff, the Donald Trump calling out Don Lemon and saying he's stupid or whatever, just like LeBron James. That was all about the flag stuff and the number 52. Let me share my screen. Hold on 1 second.
You did mention Don Lemon. I haven't heard that, but because you say Don, I did notice an article with LeBron James and Donald Trump, and the title of the article was something, I don't remember it exactly, but it was LeBron James takes on the Don.
Oh, really?
So I think they were actually talking about Donald Trump. I didn't hear anything about Don Lemon either.
Yeah, he did like a CNN interview. Here, I'm going to share my screen really quick here. If I can figure out how to do it here. Share screen. All right, can you see it?
Yeah. Okay, now I got it.
Got it?
Yep.
Yeah, LeBron James, whatever, on August 3rd, that Donald Trump tweeted about. Well, here's the tweet right here. And the tweet equals 624, by the way. If you do the whole tweet, reverse reduced, it equals 624. But he rewatched the Don Lemon interview with LeBron James, where LeBron James said he wouldn't even sit across from Donald Trump. And so Donald Trump basically just called them both stupid. But if you go from Don Lemon's birthday to the day of that tweet, it was 5 months and 2 days. And then the big thing with LeBron is him putting up a school in Akron, Ohio, and Akron, Ohio equals 52. And Don Lemon's show that he hosts is called See It Tonight, that equals 52. And Don Lemon's name in Gematria equals 239, which is the 52nd prime number. And if you go way back, the day that we got the story about LeBron James calling out the NFL not standing during the national anthem, that was on September 23rd, the same day that LeBron James called Donald Trump "you bum," and "you bum" equaled 51, and it was Cleveland equals 51, LeBron James equals 51. They won their first sports championships in 51, and Quicken Loans equal 51. And then they both went to the White House on November 10th, just after Trump won, on the day that leaves 51 days in the year. And believe it or not, if you go from August 3rd to September 23rd, it's 51 days. Also a span with the end date of 52 days. So these two numbers are interrelated. And, there's so much more to it. Even we just got a story about Osama bin Laden again, his mother. And then you find out when you look up his father, he died in the plane crash, and he died on 9/3. That's super connected to the World Trade Center and Saturn and whatnot.
Okay, was it World Trade Center bombing in '93?
What?
Was the World Trade Center bombing in '93? That was Oklahoma, wasn't it?
No, it was 93.
Okay.
It was 2/26/93. The same day as that the Warrington bombs, and the Cranberries singer just died this year. That was in connection to that. I have to go. I don't even remember all that. I have to go back and look. But yeah, but Osama bin Laden. Remember, originally he died on May 1st, but where he was, it was actually May 2nd. So it was like 5-1 and 5-2, like the two numbers that are important. And Donald Trump just called out Super Bowl 52. Just before Super Bowl 52, and the Eagles going on in Philadelphia is where the flag was supposedly sewn at 239 Arch Street, and he calls them out on 239. They even had that story about Donald Trump supposedly weighing 239 pounds. Remember that?
Yeah.
So, and there's been something super synced up to Donald Trump, Pope Francis, and LeBron James. It's a big interweb of, all synced up to the Jesuit stuff. So, let's see here. the day that Donald Trump won the election, it was the day that leaves 52 days in the year. And White House equals 52, president equals 52, government, Pope equals 52. And that's why when he said, I like Mike in this post here, he was talking about Michael Jordan. I like Mike. And a big deal in 2015 was Michael Jordan was 52 years old, owning the Charlotte, whatever it was, Hornets or Bobcats, and then Princess Charlotte being born on 5-2 and whatnot. So, let's see. Also, what the big connection to Cleveland, that 624 is really important to the Cleveland Indians. So, what was it? Rocky Colavito equals 624, and Detroit Tigers equals 624, and the Cleveland Indians and the Detroit Tigers played on 624 this year. And Aroldis Chapman was a big piece in 2016. His name equals 200 or 624. So, he was born the same day that the guy Rocky Colavito was traded for died in 1988. And I bring that up because this tweet equals 624 here.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's connected to LeBron James, who just left Cleveland to go to Los Angeles. And that same day of this tweet, Cleveland played the Los Angeles Angels in baseball, and Angels equals 624, something else I've been documenting on my blog here. And there's also been some weird synchronicity with Joseph Gordon-Levitt that I've had, and I didn't even realize that I was having it. I randomly wanted to watch Angels in the Outfield again because of him. And then we got the celebrity roast of Bruce Willis, and he was the host of that even.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt also, he had a recurring character on Roseanne when he was a kid too, and Roseanne's popular.
I didn't take the time to look at that, but I know what you're talking about. And he was also on, I documented it somewhere here. He's on Third Rock from the Sun. We put it in here. And, Earth equals 52. Third Rock equals 52. And that show, it says it's set 52 miles outside of Cleveland. Yeah. So, and then later that night, this is another synchronicity thing. So I'm writing up this blog post, and a lot of times I just start writing a blog post, and I kind of do some other things. And Claire was done watching TV; she was going to bed, so I just went to, I think it was Showbox, I think, on my Android box, and in the trending movies, this movie was on there, Cleveland Abduction. And I thought, that's pretty weird, Cleveland Abduction. And this was all, I don't know if you remember this story, where the Ariel Castro guy kidnapped the people, the three girls. And one was named, what was her name? Something Knight, Amanda Knight, or I don't know if I read it in here or not. Michelle Knight. And back in the day on the news, they kept blacking out her picture. And so she was like the Dark Knight, and it was just after the Dark Knight had, it was within a year of that movie being out, and the Batman shooting. And then think of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's also in that movie. So, something weird.
You got one. I know you talked about a chase theme too.
Yep. Just recently.
I've been seeing that quite a bit too.
Really?
Yeah. And I did kind of wonder if maybe there's something for the Arizona Diamondbacks, because they do play at Chase Field.
Yeah. And they also won the World Series in 2001 on 11/4. A lot like 114 over the Yankees.
And the 2001 season seems to be coming up a lot too.
Yep. Well, 9/11 and the World War stuff, because World War equals 114, just like Holocaust and Pearl Harbor and Kim Jong-un and whatnot. But the 9/11 stuff is important because the Boston Red Sox played the Chicago Cubs in 1918, just before World War I came to an end. And that World Series, the Boston won on 9/11 that year. And that was the year that it got popular to stand during the national anthem at sporting events in game one of that World Series. So, and there's a lot of people talking about the Washington Redskins in football. I'll come back to the Chase thing in a minute because I know what you're talking about, but the Washington Redskins thing, it was important because in 2016, when I talked about the Indians and the Cubs and how they were connected to the area that I live and this Native American theme, and because Dunlop killed the last keeper of the sacred pole of the Omaha Indians, Chief Yellow Smoke, and in Denison, Iowa, that's where Yellow Smoke Park is, and that's where Brandon Scherf, the Washington Redskins player, plays. All right, Brandon Scherf, we'll pull it up here. You can still see my screen, can't you? Yeah, it was all about this. The Cleveland Indians were really important to all of this stuff, and all these people are talking about the Washington Redskins, and I really think it's important to the Cleveland Indians this year. Brandon Scherf here. He's even number 75, and World War III equals 75. And I lost my train of thought of what I was going to talk about with him. Oh, the Washington Redskins, when you look them up, they were originally called the Boston Braves. And the last time the Indians won the World Series, they beat the Boston Braves. And and they, what was it? They won a one-game playoff over the Boston Red Sox to make that World Series. And, you know, it ruined an all Boston World Series. But that big number 510 that I talked about with the Trump and Kim Jong-un meeting, right? 510. Boston equals 510, and so does Red Sox. So I don't know. Like, I don't really care. It's just interesting how all this is interrelated and how it all connects. And there's all this strange synchronicity stuff that goes along with it. Trying to see if anybody wants to come in and talk and add some stuff.
Yeah.
I can't look at the, yeah. I can't look at this screen and look at my other one at the same time. So if anybody wants to come in and talk and add some stuff, just send me your email or whatever. I think I can just invite you to it.
Yeah, I keep having trouble with that too. It's like I'm trying to follow you, but at the same time, I got to bring up other screens so that I can look up stuff too.
Right. Oh. I just want to have a conversation with like-minded people because I feel stupid every day going to work and like just, I don't know. I talk to tons of people, but this is something you can't like have a big long conversation about to people, most people, because they're just like, what are you talking about? You know? And even when you make it simple, you ever notice that? You ever just like stay on one simple topic and tell somebody about it and they just like their eyes like roll back like they're possessed, like, oh, what are you talking about? And you're like, dude, it's so simple. I'm making it absolutely simple. Half the time I don't even use numbers when I start bringing stuff up. I just, I bring up stuff like the Peter Wentz guy, the lead detective in the John Bobbitt story. It's like, just think about that. Peter Wentz. They wondered where his Peter went, and I mean, it's just so dumb, dude. Like,
you were talking about John Wayne earlier, wasn't John Bobbitt's middle name Wayne too?
Yeah, oh, it was. I didn't think about that. And he was born in Winterset, Iowa, right? John Wayne.
Yeah, John Wayne was.
Pretty sure John Wayne was born in Iowa.
What do you got going on with your screen there?
Oh, am I still sharing?
My
screen? Oh.
It's on me, but it keeps doing this weird thing.
I know. That's why I was saying, whoa. Well, here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. There we go. Woo. Little Nikki is back. Oh. Oh, all right. We were going to talk about that chase thing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right in here.
I don't really have a whole lot there. Yeah, I did look up.
Spades.
I know, like a chase is a hunter or a huntsman, so I thought that might be something worth keeping track of.
Yeah. There was a bunch of things that came to mind, like that TV show called The Chase, the game show that I had synchronicity with a long time ago.
Okay. Yeah, I
But
think
I didn't write that in the blog, but I was thinking about that, you know. So what was going on with the chase theme? So I'm gonna re-share my screen here so other people can know. The chase thing just from the other night. Share. So I documented. If you've been following my channel, that's the thing. Like a lot of times you have to be following my other videos and whatnot to know what I'm talking about, because otherwise they won't make sense. And that's why I don't know how to explain it any better sometimes because I get too far behind. But we had this story with Donald Trump saying that the media wanted him to box Putin. The media wanted him to box Putin. If you go and watch my YouTube video I just made, I had synchronicity with when I was writing up about the Putin-Trump meeting in Helsinki. I looked up at the TV and an episode of Family Guy was on that had Vladimir Putin on it, and it was one where they found a bootlegged copy of Rocky, the film Rocky, a bootleg copy of that, and in that the Russian actually wins. So then Peter Griffin challenges Vladimir Putin to a boxing match, and then now a couple weeks later we get a story about how Trump saying the media wanted him to box Putin, right? So what are the odds of that? And it was even on August 2nd, which was interesting because August 2nd is a day that's really synced up to Valentine's Day because it's the can't remember what day it is, the 214th day that leaves 151 days, and Valentine's Day equals 151, and it's also 214. And then if you go from Valentine's or from August 2nd to Valentine's of next year, it's 6 months and 12 days, and the word Valentine equals 612. And that's, all of this, they want us to think about World War stuff, and that's the day that Donald Trump met with Kim Jong-un on 612. And Family Guy, what I talked about in that previous video was that the 49th episode of Family Guy was the last episode originally, and that it got canceled after that, and it came out on Valentine's Day of 2002. And Rocky, not only Rocky the character, but Sylvester Stallone was born on July 6th, which is also 6/7, which in Eastern Orthodox, that's Valentine's Day. So there's a big Valentine's Day thing going on with it. It was synchronicity to Family Guy. It even came 1 month, 19 days after Trump's birthday. Family Guy equals 119, and it's also 49 days. And it was the 49th episode of Family Guy that I was talking about. So whatever, I went through all of this stuff. It happened in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. That's when you look it up on Google Maps, it's only like an hour or so away from Philadelphia. Think about Rocky and Philadelphia. But the location is 41 degrees north, 75 degrees west. And Box equals 41, Valentine's equals 41, Cold War equals 41, Russia equals 75, 75 degrees west, and Wilkes-Barre equals 75. World War III equals 75. The Finland president equals 75. Helsinki, Finland equals 75. And it's funny, I didn't even realize in this post what I was talking about it, I talked about Brandon Scherf again, who wears number 75. I just now realized that. But Kim Jong Un, according to Swiss records, is even born on 7/5, July 5th. So it's definitely something super important. And I don't know if there's going to be World War again, but everything is seemingly coded to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened with this chase theme, and I was blogging about all of this, and I thought I would look up to see another episode that Vladimir Putin might be on of Family Guy, and it was season 8, episode 3. That's the only other episode I could find him on. And I noticed that Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase were in this. And recently, my daughter Claire has been really obsessed with watching the movie Tommy Boy. And I think it's cool because I like Tommy Boy and it's a funny movie. And I tell a bunch of people, oh, she loves Tommy Boy because it's an old movie. And it seems like a lot of kids don't like some older movies, you know? And everybody always says, oh, I bet she liked Caddyshack too. And then I was like, huh, Chevy Chase. And I was listening to the Gematria Effect where young Decoder was supposed to be on. And his name is Chase. And I had just recently documented about the guy who delivers the Omaha World Herald in town. And he died back in on 2/20. And he was married to a lady who had the maiden name Chase. And that lady's brother, who had a wife with the last name Chase, she had died on Christmas Eve this year. And I was like, huh, maybe there's something to do with Chase. And Dan Aykroyd's in Tommy Boy. That's another reason why it was stuck out to me, I guess. And he's born 114 days for the 114th World Series, you know, and he's synced up to the Blues Brothers, that syncs up to the Chicago Cubs. And that's also the day that LeBron James signed with the Los Angeles Lakers, and LeBron James equals 114. But Chevy Chase, born on 10/8, October 8th, the big number connected to the Cubs. And Caddyshack has Bill Murray in it that's connected to the Cubs yet again, you know, or Bill Murray super connected to 67. His dad, his dad died age 67 and his mom died in the year 67 and Bill Murray equals 67. And a long time ago, I documented about how he wrote a tweet on January 9th. So 19 and 19th prime is 67. And he said, you could give me 67 years to do something, but I would still wait until the day before. And, you know, he was only like 63 or 64 at the time, so it didn't make any sense. So this is big number 67. Cleveland Indians equal 67. You know, they lost to the World Series 67 weeks before the Stoneman Douglas shooting, the Valentine's Day massacre that's connected to the Cubs, right? So
I want to bring this up before you get any further. You were talking about Chevy Chase, and I came back to the YouTube channel here to check comments, and I scrolled down these videos on the side, and there's this video, Dark Secrets the cast of SNL tried to hide, and of course it's Chevy Chase right on the front there.
Oh, really? Awesome. So anyway, so there's all these Chase things that were going on, and I don't know what young Dakota's real name is. I have an email with it from a while back, and when I typed it in, what I thought it was, it equaled 624, and I was like, okay, you know. So I wanted to see if he was on Facebook or something to see if I could find what his real name was, and I didn't find it. But the first thing that was posted on Facebook was a post about synchronicity. And I mean, they don't realize what it is. They just think it's a coincidence, you know. But the first person to comment on it was a lady that I just talked about, Julie Chase. And this was her husband using her account, even though she's not alive anymore, you know. So this is weird that I go there and then the person I'm talking about, they're on Facebook, right? The first thing. And this lady who died, her birthday would have been 6 months and 24 days before August 2nd, the day I was writing up this post. And I was listening to the Gematria Effect still, and all these people were talking about the Redskins. So I was like, well, it's connected to Brandon Scherf. That's what I was talking about in 2016. And it doesn't have a middle name of him on here, Brandon Scherf. So I was like, I'll go to mylife.com where you can usually find people. And the only person that came up that's not actually him, his middle name says Chase, Brandon Chase Sheriff or whatever. So I'm like, okay, there's something to do with Chase going on. So I don't know. And then you documented about the Diamondbacks playing at Chase Field. So
And it also makes me think about the movie The Chase with oh, what's his name in it? Was the pitcher in oh, Charlie Sheen. I'm trying to say Charlie Sheen, but yeah, that's a Charlie Sheen movie too.
Charlie Sheen's in a movie called The Chase.
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's mind blowing. I didn't know that. He's in a movie called The Chase. Hold on, I'm gonna look that movie up really quick. Charlie Sheen.
There's two.
He's 52 years old, and Wild Thing equals 52.
Yeah, I saw that, and that's what I thought. Well, Charlie Sheen's interesting because I saw Ron Swanson or Ron in the comments. He mentioned the 1919 Black Sox Chicago White Sox or Black Sox scandal, and I just watched that movie last weekend about that scandal.
And, the 8 Men Out or something like that.
Yeah, and of course that's a Charlie Sheen movie also.
Yeah, did you see my post about Charlie Sheen not that long ago? Where
he's 52 and the Wild Thing's 52.
Oh no, there was something. I was at work and I was thinking about the Mighty Ducks or something like that. Let me see if I can find it here. Right here. I don't remember exactly what I don't even know. I was thinking about something. Let me find it here. Yeah, I was thinking about the Mighty Ducks and Gordon Bombay, and how it, San Francisco and the Bay. And I talked about a lot of this a long time ago. And Frances Bay, the grandma on Happy Gilmore, and then Happy Gilmore learns how to putt on the Earthquake Golf Course. And the building that falls over looks like the Comcast Center in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia and San Francisco have this interrelated connection. That's where the Warriors were originally from, and that's where the Athletics had originally played and whatnot. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I wonder if there's something to do with Charlie Sheen because of all this Cleveland Indian stuff. And then I went to put a dish up on the shelf, and I saw this thing, Stara Sheen. And I was like, But and then equaled 114 to Gematria. So yeah, there's so much information. I can't even remember half of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to go back and relook. I have a faint idea of a lot of times of what I was talking about, but I have to go back and just reread through it sometimes because I don't remember it all. It happens so often that I can't even keep up with it a lot of times.
Yeah, I'm just starting to get into the habit of just make real short blog posts that doesn't really have anything, but if I start to see a pattern, I just put it down just so that I don't forget things.
And what I've noticed a lot with the synchronicity stuff, sometimes like something like this will come up, something to do with Chase, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean anything right now, but maybe in like 2 years, it'll come back and I'll be like, oh man, that's what that was showing me. You know what I mean? Like, and it'll be connected to something like 2 years later, it seems. It doesn't always connect. So that's why I just keep documenting all of these things to eventually figure out exactly how it works. It's pretty early in understanding all of this to know how it all works. And,
yeah, it's like always playing catch up.
Yeah. So, but it's obvious that it's going on. And before I knew Gematria, I noticed a lot of patterns like this in the mainstream media. And it had, you didn't have to know numbers to see that there was a pattern going on. So
right, and that's how I do a lot of it though too. Is I start with the pattern, and then when I start seeing the pattern, then I'll check the numbers.
Yeah. Did trying to see, am I still screen sharing? I don't think so.
Nope.
No. Yeah, it's like if you see the pattern, or I don't know, I'm getting feedback or something. Hold on one second. I don't know. Do you hear that? Or is it just me?
I don't hear anything.
No? Okay. Or I think I can hear you out of your speakers or something. But you just notice the pattern, and then when you understand gematria, the pattern just you're like, oh man, like it's so synced up to some of these other things that are going on. Like I just made that video about George Bush in Maine, right? And then I talked back in May, I talked about Maine and how it was synced up to George Bush and whatnot. And he had to go to the hospital in Maine, and then we got the story of Nicole Maines, who I talked about in that video. And it's like, how many people would even know about Nicole Maines? I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I didn't even know that was a famous person. I just thought it was some stupid story from way back when that happened on George Bush's birthday, 6/12, and then her name or his or whatever transgender named Nicole Maines. And it was all because I noticed this thing with Saturday Night Live and Maine Justice, and then there was the guy who died on the 4th of July in Maine in a tractor thing during a parade, and then some other transgender person being beat up named Nicole something. And that's why I even have a song on that I have on YouTube that's called "This Song Is the Banger," and I changed it to "This Song Is the Banger Maine." So I don't know. I thought it was funny.
We had an interesting thing with that duck theme a while ago too.
Yeah, what was that? There was some synchronicity with you told me about you made a video about ducks, and I had just watched the Mighty Ducks that day, or something like that.
Yeah, I was seeing all this weird patterns with ducks, and I made that video. And then you said you watched that movie that day too.
I did, yeah.
But and then you had that duck boat crash. It was a week ago or so. And what's funny is a couple of my friends actually were just on that boat the week or two before that. And later that day, I went over to their house, and they still have like the brochures and everything for it sitting on their coffee table right there too. That was really weird.
It is, yeah, because it happened on the Aurora Bridge, and that equaled 519 or something. I don't even have it pulled up. I think it equaled 519, and then the date that I watched, you made that video,
Yeah.
it was May 19th, wasn't it? 519.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and that was all about. It was raining that day, and I first saw that toy duck. Rain equals 24, duck equals 24. It was May 19th, so it had day numerology of 24.
yeah, what was I'm wondering how far away that was.
I don't have that.
2 months. I just want to know the amount of days. Probably 60 something. May 19. $61 days. Huh. I'll have to look into that. I didn't even think about that, but I just recently talked about how there was a drowning theme, right? With with whatever. I randomly wanted to listen to Drowning Pool on 7/2, and Drowning Pool equals 72, and then what was it? A couple weeks later, Chigozi Truth made that video about Drowning Pool, and his name equals 624 in Gematria. And that, it's just all kinds of stuff with it. Is it thunderstorming where you are, Sam?
Yeah, it was. There was a little thunder going, but I haven't heard it.
Say, yeah, it's like lightning like crazy out here.
I just heard it again.
Huh. But yeah, I mean, the day before this duck boat thing, I even said, I wonder if we're going to get another drowning story in the media, and then we get this duck boat thing, and it was all because I was talking about the Ray Emery hockey player being a Philadelphia goalie, and it reminded me of the Mighty Ducks because Goldberg says that he's going to be moving back to Philadelphia, and then he never moves back to Philadelphia, and they never mention it once again in the movie. And then we get the duck boat crash like the very next day, So it's like if you figure out the pattern and the theme, and then you see the gematria, there's probably another bigger piece that would really synchronize it all together that maybe we don't know about. That you know, it's easy to see, but there's probably something really big that if you can that we're missing that would solidify all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like everything's just a microcosm of something else. Everything just breaks down smaller and smaller, and we're just kind of trying to go the opposite way, go back up to the bigger picture.
Yeah. You know, sorry. I'm gonna go back to the chat and see if anybody wants to come in or anything. It's impossible to look at this chat and then look at anything else too.
Yeah, I'm having a real hard time switching screens here. I get lost. 'Cause I've got probably 5 different things going all at once right here.
Yeah, I have so much to talk about, but I don't know how to. Yes, I hear them. Yeah, I don't know how to organize it. Like I said, I've got so far behind that I wish I had the ability to make videos every day on the blog posts that I do make. Just I just don't have time. With that drowning theme too, the guy who delivered the Omaha World Herald, his daughter has been in town, and she's actually from. Oh, I didn't put her name in here either, so I can't find it because lately I've been trying not to put people's names in here when I put a. Hold on a second, because I had my one friend get mad about it or something because his kid's name was on here, even though his kid's name equaled the same as his name, and when he got mad at me, it was exactly that many days away or whatever. And so I try to just take screenshots every now and then. But this girl right here, she is from Silver something, Maryland. That's like right outside of Washington D.C. And anyway, you know Sturgill, don't you? You know Sturgill.
No,
He
I don't. I never did know him. No.
Oh well, when her dad died, she came back and she was up in uh, Dow City. If anybody doesn't know, it's just a town that's like 10 miles away from where I live, and Sam lives 10 miles the other way, pretty much. But she was up there at the bar, and he was up there, and he was like hitting on her like crazy or whatever. It's uh, moral of the story, like whatever. He was hitting on her like crazy, and I don't really know her that well, and on July 22nd, I guess, after all this drowning stuff was going on, and I talked about how I remember saving 3 kids at the swimming pool, and when I was a lifeguard for like 10 years. And one of them was her brother, that guy's son or whatever. And I went to the bar, and I had a DJ a wedding, and then we went to the bar on this night because Sturgill had told me to come up there, and it was probably 12 o'clock, 12:30. And I went up there, and that girl was there, and he was like hitting on her again. And I guess she's back for a month, and then she's going to be moving to like Texas or I didn't catch the whole thing, but when we were sitting there talking, what she said was, "Hey Dan, do you remember that time you saved my brother at the swimming pool?" And I was like, "Well, of course I remember saving your brother at the swimming pool." I didn't tell her that I just documented about it on my blog, but it was like for sure. And I came home and looked her name up, and it equaled 72, just like drowning pool, and this 810 number, which is really important to the Indians and Rocky Colavito and the death of my grandma and all kinds of stuff that are going on with this 810 Rocky Colavito's birthday is August 10th. But the moral of the story with all of this is that the bar was the Buffalo Club that equals 624 in Satanic Gematria. So, once again, synchronicity at its finest. Like, I'm talking about the drowning theme that involves this girl's brother that I really don't know that well. And then she brings up, like, one of her obvious memories of me is saving her brother at the swimming pool, you know? And then her name syncs up to what I was talking about. And she brings it up at a place that equals 624 that's connected to all of it. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, that's a 624. You can keep bringing that number up a lot too.
Well, it's that number is crazy. Like, it's like no other in my life right now. Like, my grandma died 6 months and 24 days before my uncle in the past year, and my uncle died 6 months and 24 days before my birthday, and my son was born 6 months and 24 days after 624, and his birthday is January 17th. That is 6 months and 24 days before 810, which is Rocky Colavito's birthday. And Lou Boudreau was the coach and a player of the Indians in 1948, and he died on August 10th, on Rocky Colavito's birthday in 2001, just before 9/11. And Rocky Colavito, 624, and so on, you know? There's something super connected to it. That's also the day that Freemasonry was founded in the year 1717, which is important to the Stoneman Douglas stuff and the Chicago Cubs and the XXX Tentacion, or however you say his name. It's all about the number 17 and, 624. Super important to Freemasonry. The word Jesuit also equals 624. And what else about 624? I can't even remember it all. So what is it, the 175th day of the year? It's synced up to Pope Francis. And trying to think what else there was. There was one other big thing with 624. 624. Oh, Grover Cleveland. He died on 624 in the year 1908, which was the last year the Cubs had won the World Series. He died on 624, 108 days before the Cubs World Series began that year. And then it was all about 108 in 2016, and the Cubs breaking the 108-year curse and whatnot. Grover Cleveland was the 22nd president. And if you go to Zach's blog, somebody showed him a video of how Cleveland always loses with the number 22, right? And this year's the 222nd anniversary of Cleveland. And 810, Rocky Colavito's birthday, is the 222nd day of the year. So, I don't know. They had the 22-game win streak. It's just crazy. So, there's got to be something to it, you know?
Right.
And it's so crazy because I don't even care who wins. The only reason I even care who wins is so hopefully more people that I know can understand it better and be like, oh, even if, but the team that you think is going to win has to win for more people to be like, this is it, this is real stuff here, and I say that, and then in 2016, all I did was write on Facebook about how it's going to be the Indians and the Cubs, and then, or at least the Cubs, and people just shunned away from it, like they, it's just crazy. So I don't know. You want people to understand it. You want to pick the right team, but it really doesn't matter. There's something else I'm supposed to learn from this that has nothing to do with sports. That's the way I feel. I always learn a whole bunch about my own life when I learn about all these things. And the sports are just easy for me too because I watched them for so long, I think. I always knew the NBA was rigged, but I didn't realize at what level sports were actually truly rigged or scripted,
Right. I was just talking to somebody at the bar about that last night with football. Like when people want to talk to me about football and I tell them like, I don't know anything about football. I don't like it. I haven't watched it in years.
Yeah.
They don't understand it. And I just tell them it's so obvious, every year You know, I look at, even go back to when John Elway won his last Super Bowl, he retired, and Jerome Bettis won a Super Bowl and he retired, and that theme it just keeps going and going every single year. It's like the big name player is going to retire, they're going to win.
Yeah.
And that's the most obvious thing to see from the surface, if like when I talk to people about it, because people understand that.
Yeah, you have to put it in terms that they get, right? So that's why I always bring up stuff like the Dolphins lines coach getting busted for doing lines, or Hurricane Harvey that happened just before, or Matt Harvey being the first pitcher to pitch at Houston after Hurricane Harvey, and tons of other stuff.
Ken Caminiti died after he did a speedball.
Right. Yeah. You had one about Treasure Island the other day? Then there's something with Treasure Island.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Bones or something.
yeah. I'll bring that up. Oh, that was a pretty good one. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know that much about Treasure Island, but it's funny if you do know it.
I think most people do because there's been so many movie adaptations and even children's ones. They did a Muppets version of it too with Tim Curry.
That's I don't know that much about Tim Curry even. Like, I don't know. I didn't even know about the Rocky Horror Picture Show until like probably 10 years ago. And I was randomly watching a movie on like some whatever small channel we had. We had basic cable. And I was like, what is this like transvestite vampire? What is going on here? And then I was like, that's the guy from Home Alone 2. So I
Yeah.
was like, I didn't even realize he was it for the longest time. So
Yep. He was the original Pennywise.
yeah, I don't know that much about him. So that's the thing. If people know more about these things, it's so helpful. There's so many things that I don't know about because I never watched it or grew up on it. So there's things that I don't get because I didn't know about that. But once you know about it, you're like, oh, that's hilarious.
I did this the Idaho stabbing with it's related to Treasure Island, but I, I just noticed this. It was really the first decode I did where I started using the Francis Bacon cipher,
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed the guy who wrote the article from USA Today where I got this from. His name was John Bacon, so that was kind of cool. I just now noticed that. But really, the story is some guy showed up at a kid's birthday party at some uh, housing complex, some a big apartment building for refugees. It's in Boise, Idaho, and but that area of Boise, I guess, is called Treasure Valley. And they interviewed the chief of police for the article, and they did a little video too. But the chief of police in that area, his name is William Bones. And so, if you're familiar with the Robert Louis Stevenson book, Treasure Valley or Treasure Island, one of the main characters is Billy Bones. So, we have this story from Treasure Valley with the chief of police, William Bones, and then you have the book Treasure Island with Billy Bones. So, I thought that was just really ridiculous. What are
Right.
the odds of that?
Yep. Billy Bones.
But yeah, Boise is 76 and Francis Bacon. Birthday party 76 and 184. Treasure Valley is 184. Reduced Treasure Valley is 58. Treasure Island's 58. Oliver Reed, who played Billy Bones in the movie, it's 58. And it's a pirate book. It's all about pirates, and pirate equals 33, police equals 33. Like police are road pirates.
Yeah, for sure.
Billy Bones is 167. Birthday parties 167. The whole thing, yeah. Besides that most obvious thing there, the whole story was pretty coded.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to find that post. I'm sorry, Claire was in here like pulling on my arm and stuff. Billy Bones. You know? Yeah, I didn't even hear about that. The Idaho stabbing, I guess. Was it just like a? It was it on CNN or Fox or anything?
I got it from USA Today.
Oh, USA Today. Okay. Well, still, that's pretty mainstream. Huh. Yeah. Oh, I don't even know what else to. There's so many stories, man. There's so many of them that sync back to the Indians and whatnot that I've been documenting about. So the earlier when I was talking about the lemon stuff, I didn't mention. Uh, so it's Don Lemon, and I mean, how many people really have like the last name Lemon? I'm gonna share my screen again really quick. Or am I still sharing it? No. Like, I mean, if you go to Wikipedia,
Yep, I see it.
if you go to Wikipedia and like just look up names of lemon, like there's really barely anybody with the name Lemon. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Jack Lemon.
yeah, Jack Lemon was one I thought of. I was actually going to look into that and I forgot because I fell asleep or something. I was going to look into because he died. Jack Lemon died like within a year of the other guy, Walter Matthau or whatever, dying from
Mm-hmm.
Grumpy Old Men. They both died like within a year span, and I was going to look into that and I forgot. But I mean, just I was like, huh, that's interesting. We got Don Lemon, and then Bob Lemon, who was the Cleveland Indian guy, and there's also the Meadow Lark Lemon, the Harlem Globetrotter guy, who was from Wilmington, North Carolina, where Michael Jordan's from, and that whole Donald Trump post was about how he liked Mike, right? Remind us of Michael Jordan. But when you go to Bob Lemon here, the pitcher during the Cleveland Indians, 1948, where he won 2 of the games, he also you find out that he coached for the New York Yankees and he coached them to win the World Series in the year '78. And his name of Gematria just so happens to equal 78. And New York equals 78. Cleveland equals 78. And he became the coach on July 24th. Find a picture here. July 24th, which was 78 days before the World Series began in 1978. You know, it's like that stuff happens all of the time. And to make it even better, he died on 1/11, 111 days after his birthday, and New York equals 111. And 9/11 means 111 days of the year. So, and the story with Don Lemon was 39 days before 9/11. New York equals 39 the small way as well. Same with Bob Lemon. So I really feel like there's something connected to him. And his real name equals 114, like the 114th World Series. It's just all of the time, you know. His name's 78. He wins the championship in '78. Starts coaching them 78 days before the World Series begins. The team that he coaches is 78. I don't know. So I should just make it short. That's an easy one. That's an easy way to explain it to somebody too. But the problem with people is that they don't go apply it for themselves. You know, that's what I really think. You talk to people all the time and they won't go to just apply it for themselves. They just listen and they go, oh, that's just too complicated for me when it's actually like very very simple. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's just like an easy one for me is the Civil War. It's like Civil War equals 43. And, Abe Lincoln born on the 43rd day of the year and dies 4 years and 3 days after the Civil War began. Became president on the date of 4/3. Like Charleston, when it began, equals 43. Like it's just so obvious. Then we get like the Dylan Storm Roof shooting at the Charleston church shooting, right? in
Hmm.
Charleston, where the Civil War began, and his birthday is supposedly 4/3, April 3rd. It's just, I don't get how people don't see it, or how they don't find it interesting, at least, How do you not find it interesting?
Right.
So, well, stop sharing here. So many other posts.
I was looking up Bob Lemon here, and he did a movie in 1952 called The Winning Team. And in that movie, he plays young Grover Cleveland.
Really?
And that was played by Ronald Reagan too.
Really? And it came out in 52. That number that I was talking about earlier with LeBron James. It's
Yep.
seemingly important. And
That's,
the date is 20/6. The Chicago Cubs equal 206. So,
that's an interesting find.
yeah. What's his name? It has Ronald Reagan in it too, which is important to Donald Trump.
Yeah, I think Ronald Reagan
What
plays Grover
was
Cleveland. But Bob
Ronald
Lemon, I
Reagan?
guess,
Wasn't he born in 1911 too? Remember a long time ago I was talking about, you know, it has the 9/11 in it.
yeah, he was February 6th, 1911.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. And he was born on whatever. Queen Elizabeth became the queen in 52 on his birthday, whatever birthday that was, 21, 31, 21. His 41st birthday. Huh. I'll have to check that movie. I have to look more into that movie. That's how it works. Like that's exactly what I do when I'm decoding some stuff. Like you think about stuff that you're kind of being shown, and then you look into it, and you're like, oh, interesting, Grover Cleveland, and then you're like, oh, 620 or 20/6. There's something too, Grover Cleveland, the the Native American theme that I was following in 2016, which also involved Field of Dreams and whatever else, and then the guy from Field of Dreams, the guy who wrote Shoeless Joe died in September that year, and then James Earl Jones's wife died, like during the World Series or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but no, I lose my train of thought here. Oh, it was synced up to Obama had his final State of the Union, and then he came to Omaha, Nebraska, and I can't remember the date now, but it might have been January 14th. But he came to Omaha, and then he went to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Then later that year, we got the Alton Sterling thing in the news in Baton Rouge. And then we had Philando Castile, who was in Falcon Heights, Minnesota. And Falcon Heights, Minnesota was where Teddy Roosevelt gave the famous speech about carrying the big stick just before William McKinley was assassinated, the 25th president, just days before that. And when Obama was in Baton Rouge, he gave a speech at McKinley High School. So, and there was a reason I brought all that up is, oh, can't remember. Was it Grover Cleveland was the 24th president? Wasn't he? And then McKinley was the 25th. So Grover Cleveland was just before McKinley, who got assassinated and whatnot. There was a whole bunch of stuff that was seemingly linked up to Obama being assassinated or something, but then he never did. But there's also that TV show called 24 where the first black president gets assassinated after he's in office. So
Sorry
and that
about
was
that.
synced up to the Super Bowl and a bunch of other stuff. So
I had to plug my computer in.
what's up?
I had to plug my computer in. My battery was going to die.
Oh, Just trying to read through here. Yeah. If anybody else wants to come in, I can send you guys links. If you guys want to come in and share some information, that's pretty much why we were doing this video, just to have a conversation. So I wasn't really very dedicated on a topic or anything else. So
we're a little ill prepared.
yeah, I just wanted to just make a video and just come and talk about things, you know, with like-minded people. So what's your email? Or I think that's how we do it, right? It's seriously my first time ever doing, like, actually setting up one of these Google Hangout things. So I wasn't able to a while back because I couldn't live stream. So young Decoder. Or maybe you don't want to put your email in the chat. I don't know how else to. Okay. Cool. We got it.
Look at his email. Chase.
I know. Well, that's part of the reason of the synchronicity.
Okay.
He was supposed to be on the Gematria effect. I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second here. You got to find a. There we go. I get sent. You like this bedroom? Take this back. Purple and white. Like Jasmine and Claire decided to start painting this bedroom, and then they just like must have ran out of paint. I don't know. They never finished it. So half purple, half white room.
Well, at least you got some nice art on the wall too.
That bullseye. I don't even know what. You know what it's from? Is like one of them guns that you can shoot.
Oh, okay.
That sticks to it, and Claire thought it would stick to it or something. Yeah, I think she got like a toy at Burger King or a boy toy at Burger King or something. I don't remember. Cool. This used to be the bedroom, and then now I turned it into like a game room with the Wii U and all that. So I went out and I got her a Wii U, and yeah, like I went out and spent like $70 on that new Zelda game or some new Zelda game, and that game is like Zelda's hilarious. You know what I mean? It's just like if you have been awake or whatever else, and just watching some of the things they talk about, and I don't even know. It's funny. It's all about, you know, ancient religion and whatever else. All of them games, really.
It's been so long since I played one.
The new one is like well, it's been like months now, but everything, I don't even know, like you wake up from like a coma and I can't even remember what happens. You have this, can't remember what it's called, something Tekka Sheik or I can't even remember. But I remember I was going to document about it because there was something hilarious right away in the game. But I was like, oh, you know, that's like reminds me of this. And can't remember what it was exactly. Hold on a second. And the new Zelda 2 had a I can't remember all the people that had laser stuff on them, if that makes sense. And Claire loves this TV show called Troll Hunter, where when they go into like the spirit world, that's what they do as well. So it's funny because Zelda does a whole lot of stuff like that. I was gonna actually beat the game, but Claire wouldn't let me quit riding the horse, so I just don't want to waste my time like on video games when I can be looking up stuff and whatever else. So, try to have some fun in life, but you know, just like there's things that are more important.
Right.
Like I don't know. Kind of when I like learned guitar, that's when I quit playing video games. Really, I remember that's why I don't have any tattoos and all that. I wanted tattoos when I was younger. I was like, yeah, I can buy a new guitar or something I can actually use versus get tattoos for $300. But I mean, I don't really care if other people have them, but just saying. And then now I barely even play anymore, except for when I have practice and like a gig or something. But
Are you talking about, was that Zelda game called Breath of the Wild?
yeah, that game, Breath of the Wild. I can't remember what it was. I only played it for like a day or two, just bits and pieces of it. But it had so much crap in it. I was just like, holy cow.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
It came out on 3.3 even.
Yep.
But it was definitely Zelda's definitely one of the games that I always liked, I guess. Yep, for sure. I sent a deal to Chase. I don't know if he can get in or what. Oh, yeah, now he is. Can you hear us? I love the Kurt Cobain too. I just can't get over it.
Everywhere I sit in this room, it just kind of follows me. I got one of Daryl's old Kurt Cobain posters hanging up in my kitchen too.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Me either.
You would think because I see his brother like once a week, but I don't ever see him. He lives in a graveyard, so
Yeah.
like creepy. He's getting there. See if anybody else wants to come in. Like,
Yeah, it looked like the Blair Witch Project.
yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I think those headphones have like I could hear you guys perfectly, but there's some issue with other people hearing me. I don't know why. So I changed headphones. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, I was supposed to be on last Gematria effect and like because I just got back from a backpacking trip and so I was driving in the car with these it was with like other people's parents that were with me on the backpacking trip, and they were putting NPR and like John Denver music like at full blast in the car, so I couldn't go on because the radio was getting feedback. So I think I can go on Wednesday. I hope I can.
Yeah, that'll be cool, man. I Yeah, it was just some weird synchronicity listening to it, and I knew that you were supposed to be on, and then I had this chase theme, and it was like, it's just too weird, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And your name doesn't equal 624. I must have been putting a different letter in it, so that's why I wanted to see.
My
But it does
name?
equal, yeah, but it does equal the same as my name, so that's interesting.
Yeah, our names are perfect matches. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's funny.
I just matched it. I was like, oh, yeah,
Right? Yeah.
names are perfect matches.
Yep.
And yeah, that was pretty crazy because that like almost never happens.
Yeah. Well, I guess I have like all the ciphers pulled up.
Oh, and you mentioned like 117
Hmm.
or January 17. That was the day that I started my YouTube channel. Or no, not the YouTube channel. That was the day that I started my blog.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
That is interesting. That was the day that my son was born, and oh, there was a bunch of weird stuff. My friend Cody had called me that day, and he was the only one of my friends who called me on the day that my son was born, and his name equals the same as my son. And I went into after I talked to him for like an hour. I went and sat down, and everyone was sleeping. And I looked up at the TV, and it had Family Guy on it. And right when I looked at it, there was a doctor giving birth to a baby son, and they're like, "It's a boy." And I was like, I looked it up, and it was the 72nd episode. And my son's name equaled 72 frontwards and backwards, and my friend's name equaled 72. And then like the next day, we were watching Futurama, and I can't remember what happened with it, and I looked it up, and it was the like season, it was the 72nd episode of that too. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
weird stuff. And like my son, my grandma had died on September 24th, and she died 1 month and 17 days before my birthday. And then my son was born on January 17th, and his mom, my girlfriend, her name equals 117. So I was like, it's mind blowing. But what I've been talking about a lot with that number is bridge symbolism. Seems to be connected to bridge. The word bridge equals 117, and
Here, I'm gonna try and match it in the calculator. Not sure exactly how you do that, because like before you used to be able to type it into the calculator and it would just do the number, but now it like reduces the number. So
just like you mean just writing 117?
yeah, so it'd be 9 in all of them. So I'm just like adding a bunch of nines together just to make it 117.
Oh, I got you.
I'm trying it, but it's not here. Let me.
You're
What's a
trying
word? What's a word that equals 117? Bridge
bridge,
does.
bridge, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just match it. See if there's anything. Um, just looking at it. Nothing that I'm really seeing. It's just like a bunch of random words.
Yeah, I've looked at the properties before, and I don't fully get it either. There was some I had like synchronicity with the movie Bruce Almighty once, and Jim Carrey was born on January 17th. And I think Michelle Obama's born on that day, and James Earl Jones was born on that day too.
117.
Yeah,
My
and
my dad, he went to Princeton, where also Grover Cleveland went, and Michelle Obama went. And
really
my dad he was serving lunches in the cafeteria with Michelle Obama.
crazy.
I know.
It was crazy.
You said she was born on January 17th.
Grover Cleveland was, yeah.
So was Michelle Obama.
Yeah, yeah, that's what he meant. I think.
Okay. I see Muhammad Ali there too. I think you've mentioned him fairly recently. Right?
Or Grover Cleveland wasn't born on 117. Dan's son was.
Yeah.
And Grover Cleveland's first name wasn't even Grover.
Right.
It was Stephen Grover.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I talked about that at some point with Steph Curry and Steve Kerr, and that Stephen means crown or whatever. So there was a big thing with king symbolism earlier this year.
Well, monarch equals 117.
Monarch.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, that's interesting. because something else I was talking about was that with the Brandon Scherf stuff, it was with Denison, Iowa, and that's where Steve King, the Iowa congressman, is from. The guy the racist guy, supposedly. And
Yeah.
he went to high school there, and they're the Monarchs. So Steve King. And then I was talking about Stephen King and the Dairy Maine stuff with George Bush and how it was synced up to 11/22/63 and the movie The Campaign with James Franco. If that makes sense. There's a lot that goes along with it. And then
Well, another word that equals 117 is a Gentile.
Gentile, huh?
Yeah.
Put these in here.
And it kind of it's kind of relevant considering a lot of Steve King's rhetoric.
Yeah. Huh.
Just like a bunch of weird words. People just like enter them in. Well, a lot of weird names, stuff.
I'll look back at my blog for 117. I know.
Yeah, I just noticed one interesting thing with 117. If you look up the January 17th date, Super Bowl V was played on January 17th. And if you put Super Bowl V into the calculator, it equals 117 also.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Test it out here. Man, I covered that Super Bowl big time in 2016. I don't even remember that much about it anymore.
You know what's crazy?
What?
We're talking about 117, and today's the 217th day of the year. If you spell out 117, that equals 217.
Awesome.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. 117. I can't remember all the stuff. There was something to do with Nebraska, the Nebraska Cornhuskers winning that year in 71. And Nebraska equals 71, and that was their first championship or something. And they beat Alabama. Oh, I can't even remember it all. 1971. Because Nebraska's coach had played for Alabama at the time or something like that. Oh. Also, too, I was thinking about in regards to 117 and James Earl Jones being born on January 17th. Not too long ago, I was talking about a theme with the word hope, and I can't even remember what happened. He was in the movie what is it called? The play called The Great White Hope, and then there was the new Star Wars movie called A New Hope, or the old Star Wars movie called A New Hope, and Obama ran on hope, and that XXX Tentacion guy, he had that song called Hope for the Stoneman Douglas people. And the guy who wrote Shoeless Joe, he died in Hope, British Columbia, and a bunch of other stuff with Hope in it. Now I'm just thinking about the Hope Hicks thing. I bet you that's connected to all of this other stuff. Bill Clinton is even from Hope, Alabama, Arkansas, or something like that. And I know I saw a story the other day about the Yankees and something to do with the word hope.
One of the people that I just saw on like Yahoo, and when I looked up Grover Cleveland, it said people also search for first guy up was Bill Clinton.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder why that is. Grover Cleveland. What did you look it up on?
Yahoo.
On Yahoo?
Yeah.
Grover Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland died at 71 years old as well.
Yep. Yep, and then he was synced up to the Cubs, who broke the. They were cursed for 71 years.
They didn't make the World Series in 71 years.
Yeah, well, yeah, the curse was in 45, right? Which was 71 years before they won in 2016 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was that. 71 actually. If you spell that out, it equals 45.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I think it's
Yep.
Let me check. Yeah, 45 twice. Full reduction and reverse full reduction.
Yeah, that is perfect for the Cubs.
I know.
Wrigley and whatever.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if between here, wait, hold on. Um anyways, did you hear about the Staples plane crash?
The one today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about it a tiny bit in the very beginning, but I didn't really look into it a whole lot.
I don't know, it just seems like kind of fishy.
Yeah, the one with the 5 people that landed
Yeah.
in the mall parking lot.
And how it like didn't kill anyone or anything or
Or are we talking about? Maybe we're not talking about the same one.
no, it is the same one. Or it killed the people on the plane, but it didn't kill anybody in
Oh,
the parking lot.
oh, I got you. Yeah, and it landed on a
Yeah,
car or something too, didn't it?
I know. Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
Dang.
there's something going on with that story with John Wayne, the airport that it was supposed to land in.
Yeah, it was probably synced up to John Wayne. Now that I think about that, because it's like an hour away from the airport.
Yeah. Well, they kept mentioning that in the article when I was looking at it.
Um,
I don't know that much. I don't know enough about John Wayne. I have to look through.
well, maybe it's synced up between like his birthday or something and the day of
Yeah.
the crash.
Well, what is today? 8/5.
His birthday's I think it's May 26th.
Yo, yeah, I got it pulled up here. It's interesting that it's 72 days after his birthday, and he died at the age of 72.
Yeah, well, that's including the end date.
The 26th to.
The 5th.
Oh, I typed it in wrong. Yeah,
Yeah,
including the end date
right.
would be 72. I don't even know what's John Wayne equal. I know, like I know. I think one of his real names here equals 116, and he died on June 11th, which could be 116. I remember. Something like
I'm gonna
that.
go from the day he died to the date of the plane crash. 143 anywhere?
143. I don't know. I'll have to look through it.
Well, it was 140 or it was 14,300 days after he died.
14,300.
His name.
Yeah, I don't know. He has so many names.
Well, his real name was Marion Mitchell Morrison.
Yeah, and then it says he was born Marion Robert Morrison. And then they call him John Wayne, and they also call him the Duke.
That's probably like what they did with Nicholas Cruz with all those different names.
Yep.
Like it's like Nicholas De Jesus Cruz or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they like changed his name, and they're spelling it like a K. Or they're spelling it like CH, probably spelled it with a K. It's so weird.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, well, the Duke equals 115 and John Wayne equals 115. Wonder what.
Well, he's like most famous for True Grit.
True. Yeah. There's a. It was just a remake of that too, not that long ago.
I saw 98 in there somewhere. True Grit equals 98.
You know why they called John Wayne the Duke, right? They had 40 pounds of impacted feces in his colon when he died.
Huh. Yeah, I knew he died because he couldn't poop or something like that, right?
He had stomach cancer.
Yeah.
God, I swear I saw 98. Well, actually, I remember. Grover Cleveland died 98 days after his 71st birthday. That's kind of unrelated. Oh, weird. That was the 98 I was thinking about.
I don't know. I got to pull the story up even. I have to move. That room is really hot.
He died 39 years ago. The whole story seems kind of bizarre, but don't really see anything about it.
Yeah, I don't. I can't even find the story here. I have to type it back in on like Yahoo or something.
Just look up Staples plane crash.
I see about a half hour ago now they're saying who the victims are.
Staples.
Well, Staples equals 58, doesn't it? Where the Lakers play.
Yeah, they're playing Staples Center.
And today is 5-8 or 8. Staples Center, I guess, probably 58, isn't it?
Let me check. No, it's not.
I thought it was, or maybe Los Angeles Lakers is 58 though. Something like that. I don't know. I know they have a 58 connection. Yeah, Los Angeles Lakers equals 58.
Yeah. What's happening in Santa Ana though? Santa Ana equals 71.
Okay. It was 71 days after his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, 71 days after his birthday, he got the plane crash at Staples. And the plane was flying to John Wayne Airport. That's something.
Yeah, well, I can't remember what I said in the beginning. John Wayne Airport equals 85, I think.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
And
it happened
then,
on A/5.
small plane equaled 57, and oh, what else? The other parking lot equals 57. Like, yeah, I looked at that story like for I don't even know 10 minutes or something before I started doing this. So
Staples parking lot equals 71.
perfect.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a reason why it happened 71 days after his birthday.
Yep. Yeah. What I normally do is I would look up John Wayne forever and try to find out what's important about John Wayne too.
I don't know. There was like a one of the people who like look on or bystanders or whatever or witnesses. My bad. And I'm gonna try to bring up her name. There's a guy, captain was named Tony Bomarito. I'm gonna look up his name. Oh, his name's 72. John Wayne died at 72.
Hey guys, give me 1 second. I have to go downstairs. So
All right.
yeah, you can talk about whatever. My kid and my girlfriend are up there. So
All right. Is there any way we could check the chat?
On the live stream.
Yeah.
Well, what we did, we pulled up a separate window and just went up to YouTube and went to the stream there.
All right. Let me look it up on my computer. That's what I'm getting all the decoding on. Okay. I'm gonna sign in to YouTube. Just take some of your questions or whatever. All right, I'm looking up the stream. Yeah, it's like, here we go. All right. If y'all want to ask me questions, just put them in the chat or anything you want us to talk about. so sick of Tom Brady. I am too. Yeah, you're gonna get sick. You're gonna get sick of him some more. I think he's gonna win again.
Yeah, I think he's winning this year. I also think he's going to retire too.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a Peyton Manning thing again. I agree with you. Infinite consciousness. I hope it will be. I mean, maybe it'll get it repealed or something. Patriot Act. All right, I'm gonna try to get a connector for my headphones. Be back.
Okay.
Google.
Your daddy can have some boy time.
Because why not?
I mean, like, is this one of your friends or?
Yes, my friends. All right, I'm back. All right, my blog. Here, I'll link it down. It's youngdecoder.wordpress.com. I haven't really been posting. I gotta get back into the groove of that. You know, it won't let me post them. Here, let me try again. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Sort of. I'm back, but
You got somebody better.
I got
looking
somebody.
with you now.
I got another person with me for a little while. So,
It's okay. Better looking than daddy, huh?
is that you guys don't hear the fan, do you?
You hear the what?
The fan I have. I plugged in a fan. It's like 1,000,000 degrees in this bedroom.
Yeah, I don't hear it.
Okay, cool. Oh, it feels like 1,000,000,000 times better. What are we looking for?
Oh, it's youngdecoder.wordpress.com.
Oh, okay, your blog.
Yeah, it's just like not letting me post the web address. So I gotta check my battery.
In the high chair?
NFC teams. I mean, Redskin sounds good, but realistically, the Niners I think have a better shot. But I mean, it might be rigged again. So I don't know. I'm just answering questions in the chat or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. The NFL has always been the worst one for me. I can never figure the NFL out. So,
Yeah.
but
I mean, when I started decoding, it was like the NFL playoffs. The NFL playoffs actually woke me up to the propaganda and all that.
right.
Hey, Chase.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I can see a lot of stuff with the NFL, but I can never figure
Did
out
they
like
all see you
what
like in
team
this
it's for.
baseball?
I guess
That was just audio.
the baseball, the sport that I never ever watched, is like seemingly the easiest thing for me, but not always either. You know.
Just sports.
Okay.
Yeah. The Chiefs Titans game. I watched that, and just the ruling is like it's not a fumble because forward progress was stopped,
Yeah.
and obviously that's a
I don't
it's a
trust the
BS
guy in
ruling
yellow.
because like you know I would watch football for many years. I had like NFL Red Zone and all that. I watched football so much. Never heard that ruling until that game, and I heard it twice in that game. So
Hey, Chase, show some of your football conspiracy.
here I gotta charge my phone. Let me clean up this orange first,
Why were you eating an orange?
because oranges are good. I like play Yu-Gi-Oh or something.
I gotta do my bonus practice. Oh, by
Alright.
the way, Chase. Slap.
Would you throw an orange peel at my face? It's not nice.
Because you're on the stream.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. Sorry, that was my little brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear what was going on. I thought that was your mom or something.
Like, no. You said Hold on. 1 minute.
Don't tell your brother I said that.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you all what he said. It was pretty funny, actually. Yeah, I gotta go in my room and take the headphones off. Alright, so he said I told him we were talking about sports, and I said, he said to me, why don't you tell him about your foot conspiracy?
What do you say?
Wait, did you hear what I said?
You know, with 71 that we were talking about earlier for just random, and then the 49ers, a big thing with Super Bowl 50 was number 71 and how they played in Levi Stadium, and Moses was in the tribe of Levi, and that was all part of the scripting. You know, Moses equaled 71, and the Ten Commandments equal 71. And the Chiefs was something I was talking about. They played in the Sea of Red, and he parted the Red Sea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't decoding that time.
What's wrong, buddy? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, let me pull up your blog really quick.
Mine?
Yeah.
Super Bowl 55 pick.
Let's see here, 7, 8. Yeah, when you did the after hours thing,
Yeah.
when you called in, like, could you just talk, or what was the deal? I was confused. I tried calling in, and then I couldn't. I don't know. It wouldn't let me do anything or something.
I know, like, I got a big conference call.
Like, I could hear other people talking, but I couldn't figure out how to get in myself, or I don't know.
Yeah, it was, I saw you were in, just get the and then just do the code, and then
Hold on. One, so on my lap.
Can I talk to him? Well, for starters, I'm going to ask him why he's fine.
Come here.
Somebody wanting, what, 4, 3 questions I know.
that's my birthday.
Oh. So it's not your birthday?
Yeah,
Birthday's in 2 days.
Yeah, but
What's the fight from?
I didn't drive them up more.
Yep.
What I'm hearing, what?
Do you have any other blog, anything that you want to talk about, Sam?
No, I don't really have much. I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of trying to follow along, and I'm
No,
kind
I gotcha. There's been
My brother
I've documented a whole bunch of stuff, but it always goes back to the baseball stuff. So I just don't want to be so repetitive to everybody, but it seems like the sports are just so related to what is going on in the media. And then I'm telling you, I have these synchronicity things that are connected too. So it's just, I don't want to lose people all the time, you know?
right.
Here's something.
Well, it's all connected. Government, media, sports complex.
What'd you say? I'm having trouble hearing you for some reason.
It's all connected. The government, the media, sports complex.
Yeah, oh yeah, it is all connected. That is,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's owned by just a few companies. Like 6 companies own like 90% of the media.
Yeah, for sure.
You get these
And then the same people are the people who control the sports league. So yeah, it's.
Well, yeah,
I hate how they're. What'd you say?
Well, they have the television rights and all that stuff.
Right. They do a lot of theming, but then you got to figure out what the most important theme truly is or something. You know, there's all kinds of things that are interrelated. And
Mess with us.
it's truly amazing how it all works, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's so impossible, if that makes sense. I mean, there's certain things that seem easily possible, but there's just sometimes where I'm like, there's just absolutely no way. It just doesn't seem like a person could sit down and script it that well, you know.
Right. Well, the thing is that these people are a lot smarter than most of the population.
Right. For sure.
Are, beyond a lot of people's comprehension, which is why Gematria is not for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta, I'd say you gotta have like an IQ of at least like 120, like, to grasp this stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like whenever I'm making videos, I always want to like try to cater to people who have never heard of it before. But it's so complex at times that I want to do both, but I feel like I'm at the point where I'm like, if people want to understand it, they're gonna try to understand it, and if they don't want to understand it, they're not gonna try to understand it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't know why I waste my time every video explaining what Gematria is and how it syncs back to ancient knowledge, and because it would save so much time on my videos to not do that. But I want other people who possibly might be new to try to grasp it, but then at the same time, like the people who want to know are gonna look more into it, and the people who don't, they're just gonna say you're crazy, and so.
Well, thing is that Ashkenazi Jews have the highest IQs out of any ethnic group. They are neck and neck with Asians, but obviously they have the IQ for this, and most other people, and the people that don't have the IQ for this are gonna fall for the same thing every time.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. If you,
Right.
yeah, it does. It makes tons of sense to me. I always feel like I don't know. I don't feel like I'm that smart of a person though. Like, if that makes any sense. Like, I never felt that way, I guess.
Personally, I don't wanna like brag or anything, but I mean I feel kind of smart figuring it out at this age.
Oh, dude, for sure. That's not bragging.
Yeah.
No, for real. Like I don't know. I remember when I think back on stuff. I remember like learning about Tupac when I was in high school, or well, Tupac was when I was in elementary or whatever. But I remember when he died, I did a speech in high school about, or this other kid did a speech in high school about how he died by the number 7, and I like was intrigued like no other by it. And that guy still to this day, he doesn't do any of this, which is weird to me. But I later on I did that same speech in college, but I never really understood like what the purpose of it was. I just thought it was kind of a joke back then. And even 9/11, like I wasn't really truly awake at 9/11. I remember getting on my old crappy internet and finding videos of people saying a missile hit the Pentagon and stuff like that. And I always had it in the back of my head, but yeah, you're lucky that you are so young that it clicked with you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, what clicked with me was the 42 stuff, because that's a number that most people know of.
yeah, yeah,
Like because I knew that 42 is like Jackie Robinson and all that. And when I heard one of Zach's videos, and he was talking about like, E equals 42, and like the N word equals 42, and like Malcolm X equals 42, Martin equals 42. I'm like, this is crazy.
yeah.
And like I added up the letters at first what he's talking about, but then I watched the other ones and I figured out how Gematria worked in. And then I act on one of the Raiders Chiefs games, and he was talking about 52.
And then it was all 52 in that game. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that video even. I don't remember all the details, but that was like a really revealing video. 42 is what it is, something that people remember because I was at my friend Pat's house, who I'm in a band with, and one night we were sitting there, and I was trying to explain to him some of the stuff, and I said, if I can get you a book, because he's one of the few people I know who reads books, I was like, will you read it? And I was going to give him Zach's book, and I still plan on giving it to him, but he's a humongous skeptic, and like then his girlfriend kind of overheard, and she's like, oh yeah, 42, it's the secret to the universe, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, well, you know why it's 42 in that movie is because Jesus equals 42, and the the New Testament equals 42, and it begins with the 40. No, Jesus doesn't equal 42, but the New Testament begins with the 42 generations leading up to Jesus, and New Testament equals 42, and he was born in Bethlehem, that equals 42, and so on. And I said Freemason equals 42, and
I know.
I told him a whole bunch about 42, and they were
History,
just like,
42. World
yeah,
War,
yeah,
42.
World War.
It's,
It's a
it's
super
such an important
Indian
number.
coding. It's important. And then
Yeah.
the 42nd day being 211, which once again, the 47th prime number, and
Yeah. And in Black History Month, is February, which equals 42.
you know,
And that clicked with me, and then I saw the Raiders Chiefs game, and I was exactly on with that, and I was like, okay, this guy's legit,
right.
you know.
And even if there's been so many times where I've made predictions about a game or something, and when I might have been wrong on who's going to win the game, but that number came up over and over in the game. It was like, look at this, like I can't remember examples. There's like a Michigan State game a while back, and it was like, look at this, everything I talked about in my video happened in the game, but the team that I thought was going to win. So it's so legit. It's just that it seems that most people won't come on board with it unless you're right every single time.
Right, yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
I'd say I was like an early convert, I guess, because like after 2 videos, I was pretty much in. Um, I, like I got on the sports thing
mhm.
more easily, and I wasn't really convinced about the news until a bit later. And finally, I realized that it's all crap, and I emotionally invest in myself a lot in the news, and now I learn not to emotionally invest myself that much in the news. And last year, I don't think, or since I found Gematria, I wasn't really getting stressed out about anything really, and it really helped me get my mind into a better place.
Mm. No, I totally. It helps me under. Like I can't. I'm addicted to this. Are you guys addicted to it? Like I mean, it sounds bad, but like that's all I think about. I'm at work. I'm like, oh, something weird happened. I bet the gematria is this, and it always is. Like I, the other day, our friend Pat. So Sam, he went to my bandmate and my friend. He played an acoustic show, right? Was that what he did, Sam? An
Yeah.
acoustic show at the place called Goodfellows. Is that right?
Yep.
Goodfellows.
Yep.
And you texted me about there was a bunch of $5 bills and you thought it was weird or something. And then when I read the text, I was just getting $5 in gas and I was going to that same town. And anyway, I noticed that our friend's name equaled the same as the place that is Goodfellows. Later that night he came over to my house. He was gonna stay the night in town, and he came over, and I didn't. It was like nothing going on, so I was trying to find a movie, and I was looking through the trending movies, and like the 10th movie down was Goodfellas, and I was like, oh, that's fitting. Goodfellas and whatever else, but just interesting
Right.
that every day like stuff like that happens, and his name gematria equals the same as the place that he played at, and so on.
Well, yeah, obviously there's a big organic matrix to this, and I mean, like, let's just say, you know, we get rid of this tyrannical government, um, and there's no longer contrived sports, contrived news, and all that. Um,
Mhm.
I think I will keep studying gematria but like organic matrix stuff, just seeing, you know,
Yeah,
coincidental stuff that happened in my life, and just looking at the gematria of that, because it's pretty fascinating.
yeah. I mean, it happens all over the place, but I mean, there's lots of different things that make me. Yeah, I absolutely know that there are people who they're using this knowledge of signs and symbolism and gematria, and they're somehow manipulating it. Something that it's beyond my comprehension. But I know that it exists because there's lots of things that have happened that you know that it exists, and you know that there are other people who understand it. So,
Well, these other people are playing God.
right.
That's
Like,
Kabbalist. That's
what's
what
that?
that's a Kabbalist thing. That's what they do, really. They're essentially playing God, creating something from nothing.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, that's why, like, organic matrix stuff, that's truly God's work.
right.
But, all this other
But
contrived crap in the media, that's not, that's them playing God.
yeah, and but I also always think about if that is, if it really is God and this whole thing is created that way, it it kind of sucks to be living in something where everything that you do is already like pre-planned out. Even me saying this right now is like pre-planned out. Like that doesn't seem like a world that I want to live in. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like,
Right.
so it's like,
Free will. Right.
yeah, like what happened to that? Or like, what God is really controlling us? Or you know what I mean? Like if
Right.
everything is this way, then that we're just not really even living. We're just, you know, mindless slaves in this coded world, and we got other people that somehow are like being God, but yet in a way, like with all these things that are truly happening around us, it doesn't seem much worse to tell you the truth. Like like
Right.
it's like I want to be rid of it all, but then again, like I feel like it might not be possible or something. I don't know. Like I just don't know enough to. I don't have a good enough understanding of why it all exists at this point in time, if that makes sense. So
Well, yeah, but I mean,
that's what I want to know.
not everything is part of the organic matrix.
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. That's all. Like it.
Yeah.
There's so many things, and it stems back to way before I even knew gematria. I could go back and look at some of these things, like my best friend's brother dying in a car wreck, and he died in a car called a Saturn, and he died on 5/11, which Saturn equals 5/11, and his name equals 93, like Saturn. So I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's just I don't know, or maybe there's just important events that were happened that I don't know. I don't know how to put words to my thoughts on it all, but it's definitely interesting, and I never want to stop until I can figure it out. So
Well, I mean, like that could be a coincidence, like like obviously the stuff that's happening in the media is not a coincidence, but maybe the stuff that's happening in your personal life is a coincidence, and I find each coincidence is kind of cool, you know.
yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I don't think it's a coincidence. So like I don't. It could be a coincidence, but there's just too many things that happen to me every single day that I don't think are a coincidence. Like something else is like showing me this code and how it syncs up to my life. There's just too many things.
Well, I mean, the whole world is mathematics.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I always say that we live in some type of world code, and there's just people who understand it, and they can, make, they can use it to their advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, I mean, I still believe humans, we can do what we want to do.
You still believe
Like,
we can do what we want to do? Is that what you said?
like I could choose right now, but like that's for God isn't. Nobody's forcing me to stay on the live stream.
No. But I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. Maybe all of this is just happening because it's supposed to happen. If there's no way of really necessarily proving it, I guess, or disproving it. So I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel like Sometimes I feel like I don't have my own thoughts. The things I'm thinking of, something else is putting that in my brain for whatever reason. And I mean, I've just documented it so many times that it just makes you wonder. Well, I guess I'm not saying that I absolutely know, but I feel like I lean more to that side, to tell you the truth. So
you don't believe in free will, or you're leaning against free will?
I feel like it doesn't exist. I feel like everything that I do is like already pre-planned out. I mean, it truly feels that way all of the time. Like, I feel like sometimes I think of things and there's no rhyme or reason for it to happen, and it's always synced up. Like always. It's nuts, I know, but it's I don't know. It's mind blowing to me.
I mean, like, as humans, I don't know if we have the comprehension to understand all these things.
And that's what I'm saying. Like maybe there's more of a reason that I don't fully understand at this point in time, like of the purpose of it all or why, if that makes sense. Maybe
Well,
there's no reason for it.
we're not we're not God, and only God knows this. Is supposed to know this knowledge. Is what the Kabbalists believe. If you study, you're not supposed to study Kabbalah.
Yeah. I don't know how to put the words I'm saying here. Thinking.
Because Kabbalah is God's code. And you're not supposed to.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying though? It's like if all that exists, then that just doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like you have any say in what's going on then. If you're not supposed to be a god, but you're supposed to just obey a god that's making everything happen in your life.
It kind of makes me think of the Darren Dalton book, and I think he talks about it in there too. But they talk about how maybe we are our own creators, experiencing our own creation. I think about that a lot too.
Right. If only they knew.
Yeah,
Book.
I think that's where I got that from.
Yeah, he talks about something like that. I don't know. I read it in like one night, so.
Well, I mean, it could be a mix of
Could be.
free will and not free will. Like maybe some things are destined to happen, and maybe other things you can influence.
Right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Just in regards to the media and signs and symbolism and coding certain stories and
Right. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, nobody said that it had to be one or another.
yeah, and sometimes I wonder, hey, maybe if we all do live in this code and that God controls, maybe for whatever reason, like I'm a person that he chose or this or that and creates things for me to see because he knows that I'm going to be looking for it, if that makes sense too. You know
Right.
what I mean? So, I mean, there's lots of different thoughts. I guess I'm always just trying to think about things and not just believe everything, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
you're never going to know everything.
Well, Lavoisier said that nothing is ever nothing new is ever created. It's just copied. I mean, maybe we're just a copy of a past generation or whatever.
Right.
I mean, people on the show are calling me an old soul, and then on the after hours phone call, again in K said, like, what if we knew each other in a past life or something? And he said it's all a recreation.
I I've thought about so many things like that, like, you know, like what if actually time's going backward? I don't know. There's so many things. We're just told so many we're told so many standard things in this world, like what north and south are, but really we don't have any clue, you got I mean, north
Yeah.
could be south and south could be north or it could be east, west. I mean, everything we do is a standard that we're taught, and we just believe in that standard, so
Well, they're man-made concepts.
yeah.
Like a lot of things are man-made concepts. I mean, borders are a man-made concept. Money is a man-made concept.
You know,
Even time is a concept.
exactly. Yeah.
Like 7 days. Like I understand where a year comes from, is because that's the amount of time it takes for the Earth to completely revolve around the sun. But then again, when does a year start? Like why did they choose that certain position at that certain time to begin the year?
Yeah, exactly.
And made concept.
You know, or how can they say it's something to so many million miles away when really, like, most people think of it as just like, you know, the solar system is like it's flat, like people make models for school and stuff. But I mean, I don't know. In my head, I'm like, how do you know Neptune isn't like clear way above? Like it's not actually like you just think of it as like on a plane kind of when you think about most people do at
Yeah,
least. And it's like, well, it could be completely different than how we even think of it, but that's just the way they've trained your mind to like believe.
I know.
It's
Like
like,
sometimes I'm thinking about like why do they travel along the plane of the solar system like
yeah,
up or down? Like
yeah, you know, uh, yeah. I don't know. I've always thought about things like that even before I was awake. It was like, them are the
for
things that
sure.
that's what got me into like to noticing patterns in the media and noticing, you know, I knew numbers were important, and then I I watched like Mike Boustakis hit his fourth postseason home run in the fourth inning, making the score 4-4. And I looked at my cell phone and it was 4 o'clock, and I was like, "What are the odds?" And then I was making videos about that, and then somebody told me about Zach's channel, and then I learned about Gematria, and I was like, it was like, "Holy cow, this stuff is crazy." So
Yeah, so you were an early convert, you say,
yeah,
It's
yeah,
skeptics, you think?
you know,
it
Well,
is
I was doing Gematria before I even knew his channel, but I didn't even know what it was called. I didn't know it was called Gematria or Gematria, or I just knew. I noticed in movies how they, like license plates, and they put certain things in your face, and if you added up the letters, it would make sense to the pattern I was following, and such like in the movie Castaway, where he's on the FedEx 88 plane. And I don't even know how but FedEx equaled 44. And I was like, well, that's half of 88. Let's press something to that. And I don't know. And then I learned about Zach, and I saw how he was decoding the media. And I was like, this guy is like on it. And like my name was like, I noticed my name was 176. And I was like, that's 88 plus 88. And that was a huge number that I kept seeing over and over. And like, that's really how I like got into Gematria, was because of Heil Hitler. HH, and I always wondered like why do neo Nazis have the like 88 tattooed on them and stuff, and then I found out HH was Heil Hitler, and I was like, oh, and then I just started looking at movies and whatever else, and I don't know, it was just craziness.
Oh, another HH for you. Hurricane Hector is projected to hit Hawaii on the 8/8.
Is what?
Hurricane Hector.
Hurricane Heck. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
It keeps cutting out or something. I didn't hear what you said. Hurricane something.
Hurricane Hector. Hurricane Hector.
Is that a new? I don't. What hurricane?
Hurricane Hector. Do you hear that?
Yeah. Okay. Say it one
Can you
more
hear me
time.
now?
One more time.
Hurricane Hector.
Oh, Hurricane Hector.
Yeah,
Is that a new hurricane coming or something?
it's supposed to hit Hawaii on 8/8.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
Oh.
But
Oh,
you were talking about the universe earlier. I wanted to add something to that because I did this blog post the other day, and in it I was talking about that really famous book. It's called A Universe from Nothing, why there's something rather than nothing. I think that's what it was called.
mhm.
And it was really interesting to me because the book was so popular. It was a bestseller. And it's a book about science. It's all about science and the Big Bang Theory and all that stuff too. But I thought it was funny if you actually read the title of the book, and it's basically science is saying the universe is all a Kabbalist creation, really.
Huh.
That's
Really?
what I get out of it, really. That's not what they say, but knowing what I know and looking at that, that's what I understand it all to really be.
Let's see here.
I mean, like, I've never been to space, so I don't know. I don't know any of this of the universe. It's kind of all beyond me.
Yeah, that's the thing with flat Earth. I'm not like against it or anything. I feel like I don't want to waste my time with it because literally the only way you're going to prove it, absolutely prove it, is to go to outer space or try to. So that's just why I don't care about it. I don't know. It seems too popular to be legit, but I'm not a person
Right.
who's just gonna outright say that I know that it's not flat. But I mean I don't think that it is, but I don't like telling people that I know everything. I want people to think for themselves, and because I don't know everything, I'm showing you what I do know and what I find interesting and what I've learned. So that's
I
what I
just
always try to do.
I just think like even if the Earth is flat, like why does it matter?
Right. That's another thing. Like it's not gonna. I guess because people will say like then they know that NASA is lying to us, and the whole world would know. Kind of like
I know that NASA are liars, anyways.
right. So I mean, but I think that's what people would say. Maybe like that the whole world would say, oh, then what else have we been lied to about? So kind of like the don't do drugs campaign when they tell you that weed's gonna kill you and whatever. That you smoke weed and you find out that it doesn't, and then you might move on and do some other crap. But I guess if that's what I
Right.
I guess.
Well, if if the government lied to me that the Earth was round when it was actually flat, I probably wouldn't care that much.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but
Like I know that the government has lied to the people about way worse stuff.
yeah. Sorry, I'm looking.
Some lying that the Earth being flat is in the words of Hannity like stealing a Snickers bar.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many things, and like, I don't know, but like I said, I'm not gonna go out of my way to tell people that they're an idiot, and I mean, that's just me, I guess. I mean, do what you do, but I just feel like it's a lost cause of like there's no really reason to worry about it. So
Yeah.
I hate when I make a video that has nothing to do with flat Earth, and then someone will comment like the Earth's flat, bro. And I'm like, what does that even have to do with the video that I talked about? My video was about LeBron James, and someone writes, "The Earth's flat, bro." And you're like, what?
Well, they're obviously some paid YouTube troll,
Yeah, it's just like,
or like Jeranism showing up on your channel.
yeah.
Yeah, I tried calling into a show. For some reason, the phone line wasn't working.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, he fell asleep.
Oh, you can call me.
No, I'm gonna check out that Hurricane Hector thing for sure.
Yeah,
That's really interesting because it's going towards Hawaii, and then the earthquake and the volcano stuff, and the Hawaii missile scare that's connected to North Korea, and it reminds us of World War. So
in my opinion, it's gonna be used for to try to get people off of Hawaii, so they can military presence there.
yeah, I don't know. It could be.
Just what they're doing in Puerto Rico.
They're trying to get. Oh yeah, with
yeah, get the people off the island by devastating it with these natural disasters, and then putting a military presence there, because that's what the U.S. wants.
Yeah, I never even thought about something like that.
Yeah, the most disturbing thing I think that this government has done is like overthrowing all these governments, creating all the political instability in there, and sacrificing all these American lives just for that. Like 50,000 people died to get Saddam Hussein overthrown.
Yeah, for sure.
And then like the U.S. backed the U.S. backed the Iraqi government, and then for Libya, they just overthrew Gaddafi and did nothing with it. And now Libya's in shambles.
Right.
And they
and
overthrew Guatemala.
right, which it's interesting with the volcano stuff in Guatemala too. I had synchronicity with Guatemala not that long ago, so that's interesting.
My nanny's from Guatemala.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a girl that just moved to this town. Like, I mean, it's a town of like 1,000 people, and uh, it's my friend Cody, who's his relatives basically moved in, and this girl's from Guatemala, and I thought she was Mexican, but then I found out she was from Guatemala, and the guy who delivers the truck to the place I work at, he's also from Guatemala, and we were always trying to get him to teach us cuss words and stuff, but he won't teach us any cuss words, and it's because it's a different dialect and whatever. So
I know some Spanish cuss words.
All right, I gotta get out of here, guys.
Tell you later.
You out here?
Yep, I'm off. It's been a good 3 hours. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
See you, man.
Yeah, I'll stay on for a little bit longer. But
yeah,
all right, peace, guys.
I'm always up really late, but I shouldn't be. But I forgot the Guatemala thing. Yeah, she told me some word to tell him, and I can't. And then he ended up quitting, and I was like, well, that's weird, like this girl from Guatemala, and that guy's from Guatemala, and then like that's why he didn't understand some of the things that I was asking him about. So he told me he wanted to go to heaven, so he didn't want to teach me cuss words, but
um, I mean, my nanny, like, she like, speaks regular Spanish.
She what? She's
Yeah, she just speaks Spanish.
well, yeah. He they speak Spanish too, but there's like a different there's different things within it or something. The way I understood it at least. So
Well, the word for a car in different countries, like in car is carro,
hmm
and then in other countries it's coche.
coaching.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
and then like Spain, there's like vosotros as one of the pronouns,
hmm
which means like basically you guys or you all. And then in all other Spanish speaking countries, you use ustedes.
Your status. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't. That's stuff I don't remember. I took Spanish in college, but it's been years ago. So
yeah, I'm taking Spanish.
like I took it in high school, and I learned took like 2 years in high school, and I learned more in like one semester in college than I did in 2 years in high school. So
I mean, I learned a decent amount, although my Spanish teacher is crappy.
mm,
Like I get in the book and stuff, and like teach myself, and then like I didn't even study for any of the tests. Like literally, what I would do is she'd like let us study like for 5 minutes in class before like the quizzes or whatever,
mm,
and I just like look at the words then and then just like memorize all the words
yeah,
because like my memory is pretty good. Like I know all the presidents in the U.S. in order, and also one time I got bored in my agriculture class in middle school and memorized all the counties of California in alphabetical
yeah,
order.
that's
So
pretty good.
yeah,
It is, yeah. Well, for you to be, I mean, that's to be so young to know all the presidents in order. I don't even think I do. So I mean, I have a decent idea, but I don't know them that well.
right.
I mean,
I mean, like,
it's
you need to
well,
ask me, like,
I remember having to take government. I think it was government or maybe world history in college, and my teacher telling me that like we didn't have to know dates because he said that was unimportant. He didn't know why it mattered. Like because he taught us a lot about like trade between countries and other things, and he's like, I don't care like when the Spanish Armada was, but like as long as you know what happened with it or whatever. And now it's funny thinking back on it. I'm like, well, now I understand why all these things happened in a certain year or on a certain date and whatnot. So it really is important, or it's important for a reason. I don't know. It's just funny to me that just reminded me of that. I guess.
I mean, some of the presidents I don't really know much about, but I think I know like when they served and all that.
Yeah. Well, some of them aren't even president like, for real long. Like
Right?
William Henry Harrison and whatnot.
Yeah, he's only like really famous. The only thing he's really famous for is dying early, and
Right.
he had the longest inauguration speech, and I think he's like the hero of the Battle of Tippecanoe.
Something like that.
Right?
But
And then Professor John Tyler
yeah.
didn't get elected into office, but he actually has two grandchildren that are alive today. He's the 10th president. He has two grandchildren.
He has two grandchildren.
Yeah,
How old are they?
They're like in their 80s.
Crazy.
I know.
I'll have to
Yeah,
look into that.
he was born in like 1790 something, and so he had like 15 kids, and like in his second marriage, like they had
Yeah, huh?
his two kids are still alive today.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that when I get time.
Yeah, my
Yes.
great grandpa, he was born in 1870.
Yeah, well, yeah, it could, yeah, it makes sense because I'm looking at some of his kids right now, and like like one of them died in 1827. So, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, if he had kids in the early 1900s or something.
well, I think he was born in like 1790 something, and he had like he had some of the kids in like 1850s or whatever, and then they got like married. Or I think like one of his kids had like a second marriage or whatever when he was like 70, and then had like a kid in the 20s,
Oh man, yeah, that's craziness.
and is and they're still alive today. Two of them. One was born in 1924. One of them was born in 1928. Or I think they're alive like 2 years ago, at least.
Yeah, that's wow. That's I don't know. That blows my mind. That's something I definitely want to look into when I get the chance. Or maybe I'll
Right.
look into it later or something.
And then also one of the earlier presidents, one of them was actually in the anti-Masonic party.
Yeah. Or
His name
oh, you're
Millard
right,
Fillmore.
Millard Fillmore.
Yep.
Wasn't there something to do with? I can't even remember. I should remember this, but uh, William Henry Harrison, right? Wasn't he the
Yeah.
first Whig and then the first Whig president? Hold on 1 second. List of U.S. presidents. I looked into a bunch of the stuff a long time ago, but there's certain things that you just can't
And
remember, you know?
Andrew Jackson was the first Democratic president. And then, well, there were no Whigs before him. I know that for sure.
Yeah,
Wait, was the did the Republican Party come out of the Whig Party?
I can't even remember here. That's why I'm trying to look it up here.
I thought that they did.
Former members of the National Republican.
Yeah, I think you meant.
Yes, yeah, the Whig Party was preceded by the anti-Masonic and the National Republican Party. Yeah, they became the Republicans, but
Yeah, and Millard Fillmore was part of it.
yeah,
He was part of the anti-Masonic party. When he was president, he was part of the Whig Party.
yeah. Oh, I need to go back and look at that. I is way, I don't even know if I even knew Gematria that well at the time or something. That
The anti-Masonic party actually had a lot of political leverage, like
yeah,
in the 1820s stuff.
it came out of because of the death of William Morgan.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've just learned so much more since then. But it's funny, it's funny because William Morgan is an anti-Mason, but his name in Gematria equals the same as Freemason. How funny in reverse. Freemason is 147 and William Morgan equals 147 in English ordinal. So that's hilarious.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know I have a video. That's one of my earlier videos. I talked about the anti-Masonic party, and I really didn't know that much about it. I've just learned so much from understanding gematria and then just researching. You learn a whole lot of stuff. So
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't think that Freemasonry was that strong in the beginning of the
Yeah.
United States, but I think that since television and all that other stuff has been created, the influence of Freemasonry is definitely much bigger than it was in the past.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because like,
Well, they have a bigger reach too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to write a newspaper that might not get there, and
right,
like
like
it's
like
easier.
in the 20s, they didn't like. I think that the 20s was the last time where the U.S. was I'd say like the Freemasonry was a lot less then. And then when the Great Depression happened and all that, and the war happened, that's when all these social programs and all that other stuff got put into place.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm listening. I was reading a bunch of stuff too, and
Yeah,
but,
like Social Security got put into place. All
mhm,
these other you know, like the U.S. the U.S. citizens truly became social slaves. You know, after after the 20s when the Great Depression happened,
yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying
right?
for sure.
Yeah, it was Herbert Hoover and who ruined the whole thing with the tariffs. FDR who made the slave state. It was him and Lyndon B. Johnson. Those are the people who are, I'd say, probably the two people who are the reason why you know we're all social slaves today.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
all
yeah,
these social programs, all these welfare programs truly make make a lot of the U.S. population social slaves because they keep going back to the government. They want more handouts and all that stuff,
yeah, yeah.
and looking
No,
to the government to take care of themselves.
yeah. And man, yeah, just the world in general. Like, it's amazing how like people don't know how to do like just basic things anymore. It's like I don't know.
Right,
I know what you're saying about politically and whatever and the handouts and whatever else, but just in general, like people, you know, nobody reads books anymore. Nobody, everything is on your phone. Like, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. There's certain things I wish I knew how to do that I don't know how to do, just because I grew up in an era of, I just never had to do it. So, and,
true.
and now I'm like backtracking, trying to learn a bunch of things that I wish I would have learned when I was younger, like, just
Honestly,
gardening and whatever else I wish I would knew. So,
I'm not the biggest fan of books.
yeah.
I I don't know why. It's just
Well,
they,
I mean,
they seem kind of like a waste of time in this age.
yeah, oh, it is for sure. And I mean, it's so much faster and easier and now, but I'm just saying in general, like even like a PDF book like Zach's book. I mean, most people I know aren't going to read it because they just won't read books. Like they'd rather watch the video or this or that. So but
Right.
I guess it's not necessarily like has to be in book form. It's just I don't know many people who even enjoy learning. I guess learning more new things and trying to better themselves. They just care more about you know what I don't even know what one of the Kardashians did or something. So
Yeah, it's I would say definitely that happens. You know, these
yeah,
people are just so programmed and they watch the TV all the time
yeah.
and
You know,
they don't care
I,
about
FDR is funny to me because of the standing during the national anthem stuff, and then he had polio, and then right. So he didn't. He sat in a wheelchair when the national anthem went on. So I don't know. I just always thought that was funny with all the standing during the national anthem stuff. And I've been waiting for like that to come up in like something in the media, but it never has. So I don't know.
Apparently, he
So,
doesn't even have polio, or he didn't even have polio.
oh, probably not. But that's what they told us, wasn't it? That he
Yeah.
had polio.
Apparently, he had like some other disease or whatever.
Was it? Whatever it was, he was in a wheelchair, and he couldn't stand during the national anthem.
Right.
I thought it was polio or something that they told us he had.
Wasn't the national anthem adopted when he was president, or was that?
It was Herbert Hoover signed the Star Spangled Banner into Congress, and so 1931. That's what I was talking about with the Super Bowl this year, which because it was at U.S. Bank Stadium, and there was a bunch of stuff reminding us of the stock market crash, and it's the 88th anniversary right now. And then like Neil equals 88, Trump equals 88, Herbert Hoover is HH, and Colin Kaepernick and the banner equal 88. So, and then the day after the Super Bowl, we've got that story. It said market meltdown about the stock market and whatever. So,
Right.
but yeah, and then all the kneeling during the national anthem stuff was synced up to Herbert Hoover as well through the national or the Star Spangled Banner. So
Yeah. I mean, like I've studied youth amount of presidents, and Herbert
yeah,
Hoover is another person who I think was, as I mentioned earlier, uh, one of the people who led to the destruction of the old United States. And was the precursor to all the crap that goes on today.
Herbert Hoover is that what you said?
Yeah. I mean, maybe him signing the national anthem into law was another thing that that set up to all this stuff that happens today.
Then I'm sorry, man. It cuts out a lot. I'm like having trouble hearing you or something.
Well, what I was saying is that like maybe Herbert Hoover signing the national anthem, um, like maybe it has to do with the controversy that it's created today, and how he really changed the United States a lot in a rather harmful way.
Yeah, for sure. mean, it really led on to the patriotism stuff that so many people are into. Everywhere you go, it's like Team America, America, fuck yeah, So I
Right.
don't know. It definitely played a big part into that. I'm sure because if
Well,
people didn't stand during the national anthem, then I feel like people, would still be patriotic, but it really has led along like patriotism for sure.
right. Yeah, and it's divided a lot of people. The whole national anthem stuff. I mean, do you stand for the national anthem?
Oh, I haven't been anywhere to where I had to stand for the national anthem for a long time. So you know what, if I was, I probably would. Just well, depending on the crowd or whatever, and that's only because I don't want people to stab me or throw shit at me. Like that's it. Like not because I want to, but because you know so many people are programmed that you have to. So I'm just not going to deal with that. Deal with it.
I think I stand like to avoid controversy,
Yeah, there you
uh,
go.
but like you know, I mean, I just don't, you know, like like even kneeling for the national anthem's kind of kind of a psyop, and it's kind of used to divide the people. I mean,
Yeah, to me it's all just bogus.
right?
Like patriotism is the real prejudice, like thinking that a country is better than another country and this or that. That's prejudice in itself. I don't get how people don't see that like
Well, yeah, they think that America is like, you know, better than all our other countries. In that it gives America the justification to ruin a lot of the other countries' governments. And I think that's a rather twisted worldview.
yeah, but that's how like most Americans are. I don't know very many people. I don't know. I just when I get on my Facebook, I see stuff like that all of the time, and it's just like I don't know. I don't know how you can reach them people. Like they've been
Yeah,
trained so well. Like
those people are usually people on the on the right side of the political spectrum.
you know,
Um, Somebody who I'd say used to be kind of on that. I mean, I would say my views still kind of are, more conservative, but I think I'm much more libertarian in a sense. But as somebody used to be, part of that crowd, I thought that America was the best nation ever created, and that it was perfect and all that, and that we should be going and interfering in other governments and all that stuff.
yeah, for sure. And I don't know, dude. That's something I noticed that like at a young age. I thought, well, I honestly, we're always talking about how movies program you for a certain thing, but I have honestly felt that way about patriotism since I watched the movie Born on the Fourth of July. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's a movie about a true story, supposedly, with Tom Cruise in it, and this guy goes to the Vietnam War and he gets his penis shot off and his legs get amputated and whatnot, and it goes through his struggle and whatnot and fighting against war. And like ever since watching that movie as a kid, I never wanted to join the military. I always thought, why do we do these things? So I guess, but I was never truly awake, but I always remember that movie like influenced me a lot to not want to be super patriotic, I guess. And a lot of times when I was younger, you would just go through with it, like you said, like just to avoid controversy. But in the back of my head, I was always like, I don't know why we do this. Like, I think it's stupid, but I'm not going to argue with my dad or, over something that the majority of the people truly believe in, I guess. So, I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that, but
I just general, it's it's better for your mental health, and it's better for pretty much everybody's mental health not to create conflicts with them, because that's what they want. They want there to be conflict.
yeah. And I always when I tell people about Gematria and I tell people about, you know, quote unquote conspiracy things, I always try to tell them in a very calm, sane manner. Like I don't know. I was just trying to talk to people and kind of throw in a few things and say, this is what I'm talking about. You guys know that I'm not crazy. And when I'm talking about these numbers, and then I kind of lead into it. And everybody knows, like, they don't get angry about doing it most of the time and talking about it, but they just don't want to listen to it because they feel like it's too complicated and I'm too smart for them. And in reality, it's something they could easily figure out if they just apply it for themselves. So, I just try to, I don't know, I just do it in a very sane way when I talk to most people, and I don't look like a crazy person when I do it. So it's amazing to me that more people don't get it, but people associate with me with being a conspiracy theorist now. I know they do. So, and
Oh yeah,
for sure. So
want to know about your football conspiracy?
that's another awesome thing because with synchronicity, Sam, who was on here earlier, he lives 10 minutes away, and I finally found somebody who's open to it and somebody you can talk to as well about it. So you're not just talking to random people who have no idea. There's actually someone who's applying it and trying to get a better understanding of the world we live in as well. So it's awesome.
Right. Yeah, but I think what it really comes down to, as I mentioned earlier, it's because I don't know. I know that you seem like a humble person, but the reality is that both of our IQs are much higher than the IQs of, I'd say, at least like 97% of the population.
Yeah, I don't know. I can I don't know. Maybe you are. I don't feel like I am, but dude, I just feel I have the ability to see it for some reason. Versus like I don't think it was because I'm super smart but I don't know. I did have a 4.0 in college, and the only reason I didn't get a 4.0 in high school was because I partied way too much. So I mean, I don't know. Like
I had a
I could
4.0 last.
I am pretty humble because I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. So that's all. I don't know. Maybe
Right,
I'm smarter
right,
than you think. It's just it's hard. I don't want people to think that I think that or something. So
right. I mean, like I don't fit in with the other kids, because like I feel like I'm on another level with them. Like I'm able to have these deep conversations and all that, but these other kids can't.
no, no, I feel that way every day when I go to work. I just have conversations, even though in the back of my head I'm like, well, I want to be like, well, this is why this is, but I never bring it up because I don't know, yeah, you avoid the controversy, but my mind's always like, oh man, I wish I could teach these people this, but I know they're not going to listen.
Well, IQ is not your IQ, and you gotta find the other people with the IQ that are meant for this stuff and can comprehend this stuff because you know unfortunately a lot of people can't. It's beyond their grasp.
Well, that's kind of like why I wanted to do this tonight because I've never done one of these, and I just figured I don't know people could come in and talk, like-minded people, and other people other than every day going to work and being like, oh, I got to keep this to myself, so at least I can come on here and just talk and at least talk to people
Right.
who understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's why I love the conference call is because
Mhm.
they just gotta talk to people and who think like me because it's hard because not not that not that many other people in my life you know like I can't have these types of conversations with the people, so it really helps to have this type of community to talk to and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I get stressed out a lot, and I don't know. I seem like I'm always in a good mood, but man, there's times where I'm stressed out because I want to be looking into some of this stuff and blogging about it, and I got all these other things that I have to take care of first, and you know,
Right.
and,
Oh yeah, like I had homework and all that, so it's kind of hard to juggle everything.
yep,
But I mean they want to keep you busy. They don't want you to have time to use your brain, and then for your free time, what they do is is instead of learning stuff, you just like watch the rig sports game and all that, or you watch their movies and stuff.
yep,
So
yeah. And for the last like 5 years, like I've always just watched movies only because I could see the science and symbolism in the movies, and I'd be watching a movie with my girlfriend, and I'd be like, "Oh, did you see that owl in the background and whatever else?" And I'd tell her, and it just drove her nuts. So I just quit saying it, and then that's the only reason I even watch movies anymore and watch TV shows is to see like the symbolism that's along with it. Same with sports games.
Hmm.
It's fun to watch. It actually is kind of fun to watch the game
Right.
and just laugh at how it is scripted, because you can see it, you can see what's going to happen, or you see what did happen, and it's actually more fun, I think, sometimes than just watching the game back in the day. So,
Yeah, I gotta get better at decoding live and stuff.
mm,
Just, just the sports decoding. I mean, but the good thing is that I'm young and um, I think I'll get a lot better at it when I'm older.
yeah, for sure. I feel that I'm not young, and I feel the same way. Like it's just something I feel like maybe there could be a piece or more that we're missing, or something that's so simple that we're overlooking that would be make it fit every single time and figure it out. Like there's either
Right.
more to learn, or it's something we're overlooking that is just very simple that will give you the answer. But we
True.
have to really break it apart and figure it out. So
Well, I mean, it's trial and error.
yeah, exactly.
You gotta see what works and what doesn't work. And I mean, I'm relatively new to the study, so I mean, that's why I do so many sports decodes, is to practice and see what patterns repeat and all that. And I'm still trying to figure out that, and you know and I mean, sometimes it stressed me out, to do all these picks and stuff. Um,
Yeah,
but like I mean, you know, you just do like one or two blog posts a day or something, and just spend like 30 minutes on it, and then spend the other time doing something that you actually love to do. Like I love to do rock climbing, and I spend a lot of my time doing that, and it's something that I enjoy, and you gotta realize that you're only on this planet for maybe like 80 years, and what are you gonna do with those 80 years?
right. Exactly.
You know, you wanna spend your 80 years worrying about some news that doesn't affect you, or do you wanna be doing something that you love to do with other people that you love?
That's so true, man. It's true. But ever since learning this, yeah, it is hard to have a normal, the old way of life, I guess, like that normal way of going and having fun. And I don't know, like I do enjoy doing certain things, but then when the day comes, at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I wish I was decoding this, but I don't know how to explain it. But yeah,
It it's
you
sort of like the tree of knowledge.
you know,
You get the knowledge, but there's also a downside to having the knowledge.
you
But
know,
I think that overall, I'm somebody who cares more about knowledge than indulgences.
mm,
But other people don't, are the other way around. They care more about the indulgences than the knowledge,
you know, yeah, absolutely,
which is sad but true. If we had more people who cared about the knowledge, then we'd be getting political traction. We'd be, you know, trying to get these tyrants out of power.
you know, and it's so hard though. There's just so many people have just been, I don't know, have been programmed, or they just can't see it too. Like you said, I don't fully know.
Right? Yeah, I mean, like I tell people that the purpose of the FBI is to crack down on the government's opponents, and they're like, this is like some conspiracy theory. But I mean, it's not, because my grandpa, he was one of the people against the Vietnam War, and he was on the FBI watch list. The FBI went after Martin Luther King. You know, if
Yeah,
if you disagree with the government, the FBI goes after you.
yeah, and the FBI is coded too, though. It's like,
Right?
so it's,
In the whole Russia thing, in my opinion, that's just to like get people to believe that the FBI actually does stuff when
Hmm.
it's obvious that the whole thing was a joke.
Yeah, and they want to, just instill fear and
I
whatever
know.
else. I mean, that's all it really is. It's just like people. There's a guy who comes into where I work, and there's an old guy that sits in there, and he always wears his Korean War veteran hat. And this other truck driver, every day when he comes in, he says, "Oh, we're going to be going to Korea pretty soon," and whatever else. And possibly, but he's really worried about it. I don't know. At least all them old guys that come in, they don't like Trump, and it's hilarious to me. But
I mean, I'm worried. I'm worried that I'm gonna end up in the draft and I'm gonna be shipped off to war.
oh man, yeah, for sure.
Cause like, I mean, I got good vision. I mean, I'm pretty physically fit. You know. I mean, maybe I'll say like bone spurs or something.
Right? No, yeah. Hopefully, that never comes to that. But
Yeah. I
there's
mean, like,
been a lot of coding to like 9/11 and World War the last like in 2018. So I don't know if they're just using that to make it happen sometime in the future or what. It's been crazy.
like, I think that like if a world war or something breaks out or something like that, like I'm thinking about fleeing the country, man. Because I
Yeah,
don't want to fight for the tyrants.
no, for sure. And I don't know. I feel like it might be bad news to be in this country as well. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like it could be here or something as well, but I don't know.
This is what we need to do. We need to buy our own private island, and we need to create like a new nation.
Yeah, that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, my friend, I have a anti-Masonic friend that I introduced him to Gematria with the 113 and the 612, and
Hmm.
this dude's like a coder and like a hacker. Like he's like he knows a ton of computer and stuff, and like went onto the government website and just checking out all the stuff about Polybius and all this crazy stuff. And I showed him this gematria stuff, and he got really into it. And one of the places he suggested moving to, or he suggested buying a private island, but if we couldn't do that, then we'd move to Uruguay.
That's one of the things he suggested.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know how much.
so,
There's no way I could afford it, but yeah, it would be. Oh man.
I mean, we could bike.
Yeah, well, it's funny that like he's a coder too, and I don't know if you ever watched The Big Bang Theory. There's an episode of young Sheldon where he has
Really good
he
show.
has this dream about the Church of Binary, or that's what he starts, and he has a stream, and he's like, "Are you the Ten Commandments?" And it's the number 10, and they're like, "No, we're actually not even a number 10. We're the 1 and 0, like the binary code and whatnot." And then God
And
equals 10, and Satan equals 10, and so on. So
and then they told him then they were about to tell him the secret, and then his brother woke him up,
yeah, right.
and then it was like mathology and prime numbers are important.
Yeah, that show's coming back on pretty soon too.
Yeah,
That's one of them shows that I watch just for this, like
yeah,
just to
I'm
see what
gonna
goes
watch
on.
it. To be honest, it's actually a pretty good show.
Yeah, it really isn't that bad. I like The Big Bang Theory too. That's one of the.
And one of the other things that was in the show was there's this thing about like this cold or this illness going around and stuff, right? And then
Okay.
Sheldon was like to his mom, like, this illness is going around, and he's like, I'm really worried. And then the mom said, you know, she something along the line, and she said, you know, the news says a lot of this stuff to scare people.
Oh, she did. I didn't even notice. I didn't even
Yeah,
catch it.
and I'm like, wow.
Right.
talking about on the show.
And they do that all the time in them shows. Like,
Yeah, it's what she said was so true.
you know,
They just want to scare people.
well, have you ever seen the movie Tommy Boy
No.
with Chris Farley? Well, at the very end of the movie, he goes into this bank and he yells, like, everybody listen up, but he's not really robbing it, and everybody thinks that he's robbing it. And they cut over to a scene where the cops are in there telling the news that he got hit in the head with a hammer and this guy tried to rob the bank when he really didn't. And then the next scene is the guy telling them about how what the American people don't know doesn't like makes them American public or whatever. So pretty funny. Like if you just pay attention to the movie, like they're telling you that the news is fake, but like you just have to pay attention to what they're actually talking about.
Well,
It fits perfectly with the plot, but really, there's a lot of hidden meaning behind what they did in the two scenes.
yeah, but the Goyim can't grasp it.
Right.
No, the Goyim will never know.
Yeah.
They're too dumb to know. Like the Goyim will watch Young Sheldon and they won't figure out the messaging.
No, they're just gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Same with Roseanne, and they just love Roseanne. Like my sister loved Roseanne, and I could still watch Roseanne if Roseanne was on Roseanne, but
Yeah.
that's just they created a controversy for people to think about and be divided over, and
I know.
yeah, and all of hers was synced up to the national anthem stuff as well. So
And it was and it had a parallel to the Josh Hader tweet.
oh really?
Yeah, Josh Hader tweet was 49 days after the Roseanne tweet, racist tweet. And then Washington, where the game was held, equals 49.
Really?
Yeah.
I should have. I know. I know. Cause you talked about that on the Gematria effect or something, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Something. Yeah. Yeah. I was listening, but
Yeah, I think
I didn't even think about it.
post tomorrow. Like I got pretty busy schedule when it comes to podcasts this week. I got just got on this podcast, just didn't want to. Then got another podcast from tomorrow, and then I'm gonna be on Zach's show, I think.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have band practice. I'm pretty sure. And if I don't listen to it late that night, I'll listen to it on Thursday.
Oh
I just,
yeah.
Wednesday nights haven't been working out for me at all.
Yeah.
He asked me to come on a long time ago, and then I don't know, there's just certain things I can't with. I have kids, and like my girlfriend works overnight, so she leaves at like 9:30 at night now. Or tonight she's off, but
Like you can't tune in and stuff.
yeah, I can listen sometimes, but I can't ever like call in or come on or just. I mean, I could, but I have a baby, and it makes it difficult.
Like yeah, man. I had like baseball practice and stuff, so I couldn't tune in for a long time, and I got kind of out of the work and stuff.
Yeah,
Views went down because my activity went down. Like in March, a lot of people were reviewing my blog and stuff. Like I gotta I gotta get back up to where it was. But I mean, like
yeah,
I can't really control what's going on in my life.
right.
Like even when I'm on the show, man, like I can't control them, blasting the John Denver music in the car, and my parents like calling me down for dinner and stuff,
Yeah,
and like making me do chores.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, whatever. You have to do it. You have to do it until you can do it the way you want to do it. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
I mean, that's part of the like enslavement kind of thing too that we're in. Not necessarily with but in general, like having to go to waste time going to work every day and just feeling like I'm getting dumber instead of being able to do other things that would even just help other people or make everybody feel happier, by not having to work.
Right. Like I wanna like when I grow up, I wanna do a job that's gonna help other people. You know, like I don't want to do one of these like filing cabinet jobs or just like a job that doesn't help anyone.
Yeah. No, I
Like
totally get you.
like if I can make money helping people, like that would be rewarding to me. That's that's one of the purposes that I think that I want to achieve when I'm on Earth is to help as many people as I can,
Mhm.
to have an impact on as many people as I can, and speaking out against the stuff is a way I'm trying to make an impact. But you know, like like one of the reasons I don't want to be one of the like a surgeon and all that is because I don't want to treat sick people. I don't want to be around all the sick people and all that. Like I would rather try to prevent people from becoming sick.
Yeah, dude, that makes much more sense.
Like that's way more fulfilling for me to
Yep,
do.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Like I went to Disney World and just if you ever go to Disney World in your life, these are
I've
some of
never been there.
the best I ever see. And and I don't want people to be like that. And if I can prevent more people from being like that, I think that it will be my time will be well spent.
Yeah.
Because like these people weren't like just a little bit overweight. Like these people were like one
Like,
of the people you see on like the My 600 Pound Life show and the scooters.
right, for sure.
Like
I
they
was,
can't even walk.
yeah, I don't know how you even get that fat. Like, I mean, I'm not skinny by any means, but I don't know how you can get 600 pounds or whatever. And like, you almost have to do nothing but eat cake all day long and just sit there. I don't know how you can even get
Right?
that. It blows my mind. So,
Yeah, man. It's because they eat all this processed meat and all this junk food and stuff, and they don't eat their fruits and vegetables and carbs
right.
and all that. They're just eating like processed meat and like cheese and stuff
You know,
and all this junk food that has no nutritional value and just get fatter and fatter.
you know, for sure. I mean, I'm seriously, I'm guilty of it, but I'm also like 6'4", so like I don't know. I'm overweight, but if I lost like 50 pounds, I would be look really skinny. So I,
Like
yeah,
I don't think it's a problem to be like a little bit overweight, but like if you're obese and like it's causing health problems and all that, like
right,
if you're obese, then you're dying. You're putting yourself at risk for these health problems, and like you know, and I think that it would really, yeah, I think that how do I put it? I would really like to help people, make sure that they don't end up like that.
right. Well, you know, too, I notice a lot of people. There's like a lady in town, in this town here. She's not really that overweight, but she's gonna go get her stomach stapled so she can be skinny. And I'm like, whatever happened to just not eating, eating well and exercise? Like, I don't get it.
Right?
Like why you're gonna go have surgery to get your stomach cut
I
and
know.
Like, why? You could just not eat as much and exercise, even, you know? All it takes, like, quit drinking pop every day, you know? Like,
Well, like if you just like substitute, most of your food choices for just more fruits and vegetables and stuff,
mhm,
because those foods are much less calorically dense, and you exercise for at least like an hour a day,
you know,
then you're gonna be fit. Like you know,
yeah,
like
for
I
sure.
rock climb, at least twice a week, and I'm active, and I'm eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, and I'm pretty skinny, but a lot of kids at my school are getting fatter and fatter because what does my school serve at lunch every day? It's like slice of pizza and all that,
Yeah, yep, chicken nuggets or something.
right?
Yeah, it's, yeah,
Right.
I need to start exercise and all that. I don't know. I don't know. I just haven't. I've been
Well,
lazy. I
if
admit it.
if
So
you're gonna exercise, like make it fun, like
yeah,
rock is fun,
yeah. I used to play basketball and stuff all the time at the park and whatnot. And I
right?
just like a lot of my. I'm older now, so like a lot of people moved away, and like just people just started having families, and they don't go do things like that anymore. To where yeah, pretty much you got to go to the gym or whatever else. And
Well, the good thing about rock climbing is that, um, or especially bouldering, but I mean, like for top roping, you need a buddy and all that. But like for bouldering, you don't need a buddy. You could just go out there by yourself.
you know,
And
I've never done it, so I don't. But
I mean, I'd recommend it. It's
we went. I just took my daughter to some trampoline place that had like a wall climb thing. Like I don't know, they had a bunch of trampolines and all that stuff, and that was awesome. I wish we lived closer to that. I'd go there all the time. Just like
uh,
they were amazed that I could still do backflips and stuff. So I was like, yeah, what's up? But
yeah, I was doing backflips off the diving board at this baseball camp I went to.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it was fun.
yeah.
And,
So like same with like swimming. Like I don't like Iowa. We don't really have an indoor pool, so you can't go swimming every day. But swimming was always something I really liked, and I mean, once it gets cold out, I mean, this pool closes. It's only open for a couple months, so I mean, I can go swim laps and whatnot all
right.
year round. But
Well, one of my friends, he's kind of, I'd say, a little overweight, and I didn't think of him as the most physically active guy when he was younger, but he really got into cross country and running, and and he was like running like 520 miles now, and can run like you know uh, two
five,
miles under 18 minutes, and he's trying to get 3 mile or no 2 miles in under 12 minutes, and he's trying to get you know three miles in under 18 minutes, and he wasn't able to crack 6 minutes in middle school, but now he's into cross country, and he really enjoys it and all
mm,
that. So yeah, that worked for him.
yeah, definitely. Whoa.
But yeah, just do what you enjoy. Like like my grandpa. He plays racquetball and all that. That's good. It's good exercise. There's running, rock climbing, swimming,
Yeah,
basketball, soccer, baseball, all that stuff. Um, and yeah, just do something you enjoy instead of punishing yourself.
yeah, for sure. Well, there's
And
tons of stuff. It's just like I
yeah,
said, I've just been lazy about it lately. The past couple of years.
like
But,
personally, and then for eating, for me, like I really like apples and like fruit and stuff.
mm,
So like I eat fruit for like dessert all the time and all that. And and like eat the stuff that you like to eat. Don't punish yourself.
mm, Yeah, no, dude. That's one thing about living in Iowa. Like I eat tons of fruits and vegetables at least, not so much fruit, but man, there there's like a supply of all kinds of vegetables and whatnot always around here. But there's also tons of hamburger like, with every meal. It seems like everywhere you go, it's hamburger this, hamburger that. So it's a hard thing to break away from, but
Yeah, man.
it really is. I mean, just like everywhere you go to someone's house for dinner, they always have a hamburger with it. So
Well,
or
I mean,
steak or
it's a lot of
that's what.
it's in America where you have to have meat at every meal.
Yep.
Like just you know
Yeah.
don't eat that much. Have more fruits and vegetables and like you know like personally I like a lot of bread and stuff. Like I snack on like a lot of chips and stuff and bread and I really like that. Like pasta's good, and you realize that there's a lot of good food that isn't meat, and you can have that food.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then like I cut out red meat completely, so I'm only having like fish and chicken now,
Mm.
because like I mean the World Health Organization, they labeled them carcinogens, and I don't want to fill my body with carcinogens. I
Yeah.
want I want more time to impact people.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
I don't want my life cut short. You know, my life is more important than my taste buds, and I want to be alive to spread the message. I want to be alive to rock climb. I want to be alive for so much stuff, and life is short, and you don't want to waste any bit
Yeah.
of your life.
Yeah. It's weird though. Like it's like when I was a little kid, I my dad took me to the bar or whatever, and there was a guy in there who was 100 some years old who drank and smoked since he was 13 years old. Yeah, and he's 100 some years old. So it's just like at the same time, you're like, I don't know, like definitely all of these bad things are totally causing cancer and everything else. It's very obvious. But it makes you wonder why it didn't do it to that guy. Or how long would that guy have really lived if he didn't drink and smoke every day? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
mind blowing how all of it. You know, I'm pretty sure that all these things are bad for you, but then at the same time, there's some people who can do it and it doesn't ever affect them. So
right.
it's weird.
Yeah, I don't smoke or drink either.
Mm. Yeah. Well, you're only what are you 14?
Yeah, I'm 14. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be 15 in 2 days. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad I never
yeah,
started smoking. That's like I'm glad. So I,
yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, like I've had some alcohol before, and it's
mm,
bitter and all that, and also coffee too. A lot of people are addicted to coffee, and
yeah.
it's like kind of sad that they depend on coffee to wake up. Like they can't function without coffee,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
they're zombies.
Yeah. Caffeine's harder than anything else to quit, I really think. So
Yeah,
I remember like years ago, I quit drinking pop or soda or whatever people call it. And I like loved Mountain Dew worse than ever. And I didn't drink it for over 2 years. And then we went on vacation and the only thing to drink that people had was Mountain Dew. So I drank one. And I remember thinking, this is the worst. It tastes terrible. I can't believe I used to love it. And now I drink Mountain Dew again. Like once in a, I drink Mountain Dew probably one a day at least. So I shouldn't, but I do.
right.
Like, and I don't know why because I know that it doesn't taste good, but like my brain has told me it tastes good or something.
Well,
So
yeah. I mean, I went for like a week without like pretty much all meat except for like fish and stuff. And then like when you taste meat again, it doesn't taste good.
And so that's when you know that it's bad for you. But
Right.
like it's just caffeine is the one of the hardest things. I don't drink coffee though ever. I think coffee tastes like crap, honestly. Though that's an addictive drug.
I know coffee tastes awful.
Yeah, I don't like drinking anything that's hot. To tell you the truth, like even cold, I don't think it tastes good. So
I mean, like the frappuccinos are pretty good. Not gonna lie,
yeah, I don't even know if I even tried one before.
but like that's because it's sweet.
Mm.
Like coffee is just bitter and awful. But I don't like things that are too sweet.
Mm.
Like some fruits are too sweet for me. Like pineapples.
Oh yeah,
Sweet.
and oranges just got the acid taste to them. You know, like I don't know, it kind of burns them.
They had an orange at the beginning of the show, or when I got on and stuff. Um, it was pretty good. Like I just like that it's sweet, but it has like a bit of sour to it.
Mm.
Like that's the same thing with apples, and like I just love that taste.
All right, man. Well, hey, I think I'm gonna go. Everybody's going to bed and whatever. So,
They're all
are you
dispersed.
good with that?
I'm gonna
What?
check the comment section. But yeah, I think anyways, I'm just gonna make a couple of announcements. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be on like Robert J. Morris's podcast or whatever, and Conspiracy, and Derek, Zach, and I are all gonna be on this podcast tomorrow from 7 to 9. So check that out. And then as far as I know, I will be on Zach's show on Wednesday. So yeah,
Right, right on, man.
just tune in for both of those. Yeah.
So tomorrow on Robert J. Morris's, you said,
Yeah.
and then Zach's show on Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right, I will check it out.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Enjoyed talking.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's nice to just talk to somebody who will.
Right.
Yeah, so you got it. So, but
Yeah, man. And then like maybe after Zach's show, I'll have like another conference call or something, like just for you to call in and stuff.
okay, I might be around for that because I'm pretty sure I have band practice and I have to drive like an hour and 15 minutes every time to go there. So I usually don't get home until like late at night. So
Oh yeah, like if you guys want a conference call like anytime or something, um,
Mhm.
you can like message me on Discord. I'm in the Gematria chat, or just you know, or just like send it to me in my blog, or to my email address. It's just chaseplager@gmail.com. Just whenever you wanna, you know, have a conference call, and I'll try to set one up. So
Yeah.
yeah, anything you want to say?
Oh no, I'm good, man. It was a good talking. So
Yeah. All right, thank you guys so much.
yeah,
Thanks for inviting me on the podcast, and good night.
yeah. See you, man.
See ya. Bye.